Warning. You are entering Open Lines Friday. For today anything goes. Thank you for your cooperation.
Listos pelos chingazos. Listos pelos chingazos.
I'm gonna bring the whole fucking diseased, corrupt temple down on your head. It's gonna be biblical.
All right, this is King Bucho. Welcome to BDA Boxing, the Boxing Debate Arena. It's Friday, Open Lines Friday. You know how it works. Anything goes, and anybody can join. And I suggest you join the show before it gets too crowded, because I'm telling you, I'm not going to allow 20 people to jump in. I'm going to have to stop it at 8, 10. And then if there's a lot of people that want to jump in, we will rotate. But again, we cannot go beyond 8, 10 people. It's just too chaotic. Shout out to everybody in the chat. All day, everybody. All day, everyday boxing. Eparacua, The Quacks, Alfredo Contreras, Super Sardonic, Antonio Lopez, Never Sober in the house. Joe as well. Joe and Never Sober. You guys should jump in. Anybody should jump in. Link is in the description, guys, of this video. The first link that you're going to be seeing, it's called the Friday link. And I'll be also posting the link in the chat right now. All right. Now, tomorrow we have a fight. The Joyce against the Zhang fight. It's an interesting fight, but I think it's overshadowed by next weekend's fight, which is the big one. Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia. So I also want to talk about that fight. And keep on taking predictions. Keep on taking predictions. Let me just show you guys the predictions that we have so far here. There you have it. We have a lot of predictions. And we'll be closing the prediction taking on, I guess, on Friday. Next Open Lines Friday, we'll close it. We'll end it. All right. We have BDA Boxing here and Joe. Guys, welcome to the show. Can you hear me okay?
Can hear you perfect, buddy.
Perfect. Welcome. Welcome. Yeah. So yeah, again, Open Lines Friday, anything goes. So what would you guys like to talk about? Joe, did we get your prediction for Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis?
Let me check. I got Tank Davis, bro. I got Tank Davis within 9 rounds. Knockout.
I'm not seeing it. I'm going to have to write it. All right, I'm going to write it. So you said Tank Davis 9th round?
By the 9th round, he knocks him out. I don't understand how you guys think that, even though Tank Davis has diminished over the years and he hasn't fought anybody of substance, you know.
I understand. Listen.
But I think he's on another level than Garcia, and I think he really.
That's where I disagree. That's where I disagree. I don't think he's on that. Like, there's much difference though. And on next level, based on which fights, like, have you seen this?
Look, I was impressed what he was able to do with Barrios. And then Keith Thurman couldn't even put the guy away. I just think from everyone that sparred him, everyone says that he's the hardest hitter. And I don't think Garcia has fought anybody like him. I just don't. And I think it's going to be a fucking reality call.
Interesting.
And that's just how I see it. I'm not saying I'm going to be right, but
yeah,
that's just the way I see it.
Well, we'll see. I don't think.
Listen.
I don't think Zhang has ever faced somebody like Ryan Garcia. I think Ryan Garcia is way better than Barrios for sure, guaranteed.
Listen, if Barrios and Ryan Garcia fought, I would take Barrios.
Come on, man! Now, Joe, you're just fucking.
I would.
This guy's out of his mind. You're out of your mind. You're out of order.
Barrios. I mean, let's listen. We can talk about, but let's look at how he's looked. Not just his record, but how he's looked. He fought like Madaliev, or not like Madaliev. I forget the Eastern Euro guy he fought, and he went life and death with him. He dropped him twice. Barrios dropped him twice, but other than that, he was getting outworked for the most part. I mean, this isn't a guy he's a top 10 guy, but let's face the facts. That guy, Barrios, gave Tank Davis all he could handle, to the point where Floyd Mayweather had to go to Tank's corner and tell him, look, you need a knockout. I have you winning the fight, but it's very, very close. You need a knockout.
The bottom line is he did knock him out. And
come on, you're acting like a Wilder fan.
No. Listen. The fact of the matter is, he knocked him out, and he's probably really 3 weight classes bigger than Tank Davis. But every guy that I've heard that sparred Tank Davis has said he's by far the hardest hitter that I think. I don't think Ryan Garcia is like. I don't think he's like as tough as you guys think he is. I think he's skillful. He has skills. He's athletic. Yeah, he's got a good hook, but I just don't think he's like really that dog that you guys think he is. I just don't.
The only thing is, I think both guys are overrated. That's the thing. So I don't think when you say, well, Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia, I don't see Tank Davis either being that much better than Ryan Garcia either. I mean,
actually, I changed my mind, Bucho. It's not going to be 9. I think he does it within 7. I'm more convinced now.
There you go. Hey, by the way, before I'm gonna go, when things get too crowded here, I'm gonna go. I just want to. You guys are gonna
listen, I'm disappointed in Tank Davis's career too. Like Jimmy always says, dude, Tank Davis is a sideshow. He hasn't fought anybody of substance. He fought Zapata. That he dug down and he won. But look, I mean, he was losing against Santa Cruz, and then are you really in the same weight class? And then he knocked him out, and I just think he knocks Ryan Garcia out. And then I think Garcia goes on suicide watch and then checks himself into a mental hospital because he's a mental weakling.
Well, there you go, man. Well,
before, listen, years for mental health.
Before I go, because I'm going to go when things get too crowded here, let other people have a chance to talk. But I just wanted to bring up something here. I was on Twitter, and Haymanites was getting into it with somebody. And I mean, the way the guy was writing, I'm sorry to say, he sounded like a fucking ghetto-ass Nimrod. And he was saying that Broner was actually more accomplished than Inoue. And he pointed out to the fact that Broner was a 3-division titleist. Now, this is something that I talked about in the last episode by myself, where I was talking about how the titles don't really mean squat.
No, and Broner was handed one of those titles.
Right, and that's what I'm saying is because this guy's going, he won titles in 3 divisions, and he beat this guy, he beat that guy, and I'm thinking, man, you know how easy it is to win a title? I mean, fucking, what's his name?
Robert Guerrero. Robert Guerrero, I think, is a 4-division world champion.
I think he won. I definitely know he won titles 130, 135, and I think at 147 when he beat Berto. I think he took some sort of belt away from him. So that's what I'm saying. It's just, listen, titles don't mean squat, and these people that
they don't mean what they used to. And the thing is,
let me finish, Joe. Let me finish.
I'm sorry.
No, I don't think you're sorry, by the way. But anyway, the point is this. No, listen, the point is this. When people, I've seen too many things that I want to call out on Twitter, when people go, well, I think this guy should be pound for pound because he passes the eye test. I got news for you. Yes, pound for pound ratings are subjective to a certain degree, but you can't change the criteria and just say, well, I like how this guy looks, therefore he's number one pound for pound for me. That's not how it works. So this whole eye test thing, it really needs to change because some people's eyes aren't as good as others. Let's just put it that way. Second of all, when people judge a fighter because of the highlights they watch, start watching actual fights, guys. I know it takes time, and listen, maybe you're busier than I am. You can't take the time to watch a 45-minute fight, 12 rounds and all that. But at least try to watch some of it, and because just watching the highlights, it's the edited. Almost anything that's edited is not going to give you the full flavor of watching the actual fight. And again, stop focusing on titles. Well, he won 3 titles in 3 weight divisions. Okay, who cares? It means less now than it used to mean 30 or even 20 years later, because now we've got, not only does the WBA have the WBA super belt, the WBC has something similar, and then you got the WBO, which 20 years ago nobody took seriously, other than a couple of Europeans. Now all of a sudden you need that belt to become undisputed. It's disgusting, it's deplorable, and I see we have more people here, so I'm going to bow out. Shout out to you guys.
Can I just say one thing? BDA is so right about the titles don't mean is what they used to. And you see some of these guys cherry picking some of these champions that shouldn't even be champions. And, like, look, I was a Mikey Garcia fan, but when he went after Sergey Lipnitz there, I mean, that was like a cherry pick. Like, that wasn't really a real champion. But, he's credited with being a 4-way champion now. But that's what modern boxing is now. It's bullshit. They got a boxing reconstructed. They have to figure this out, or there's not going to be a sport of boxing anymore.
I agree. I give credit to boxers that actually that move up in weight and actually beat the best in that division, and then move up again in weight and then beat the best in that division. But
you're right,
guys that just move up in weight and grab a belt here and there, and they're all of a sudden a four division world champion.
Yeah, you have to. It's like to be a real champion now. It's like you have to be undisputed. That's like what a real champion
or
is.
unified at best. But you gotta do something. You can just
move up. And move up like you said. Yeah, like Usyk, like Crawford. Canelo did it.
Absolutely. All right, we got Black Chibi, Gonzalo, Never Sober, Zero Cool. If any of you guys didn't give me your prediction for Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia, give it to me now so I can write it down. There's no flip flopping because I know it's gonna happen.
Tank 8th round knockout.
Nah, come on. Who said it? Come on, man. What's your prediction? Yeah, I can barely hear you, man.
I already gave you mine, bro.
Oh, okay. By the way, your mic sounds pretty low. So I don't know. Fix that, I guess. We already have Gonzalo's prediction. Yes, we do. Gonzalo said Ryan Garcia unanimous decision. The hell?
Yeah. I don't know, man. There's too much power in the ring. But if I said that, I'm not going to change it now.
All right. No changing it. We have Zero Cool as well. If you didn't give us your prediction, you can give us your prediction now. And everybody in the chat, guys, you can join. The link is in the description. The link is in the chat. Don't be shy. Jump in because I'm telling you, it's going to get pretty crowded later on and you won't be able to get in, and you're gonna be fucking private messaging me, let me in, and it's hard to kick people out. So just letting you know. But anyways, I'm sticking to my prediction, which I forgot what it was, but I know it was Ryan Garcia stopping Tank Davis, and I know Joe is gonna freak out, but I'm telling you, Tank Davis has never fought somebody like Ryan Garcia that's tall, fast, and has a fucking deadly left fucking hook.
Ryan Garcia is the fastest fighter in boxing.
I think he is. I don't know. Pound for pound, he's the fastest. Actually, no, just fastest overall.
You guys gotta cut this being biased bullshit.
It's not being biased. It's not because I'm Mexican. It's the truth, though. I would tell you, listen, it's just not because I'm Mexican, because I don't want to be wrong. You know what I mean? If I think Tank, if I would think that Tank is gonna beat Ryan Garcia, I would fucking say it.
Well, I think it's going to be a slaughter, to be honest with you.
Jeez.
A slaughter. I think it's going to happen. I mean, I really think it's going to be like a fucking wake-up call.
I don't know, man.
And I'm not a Tank Davis fan. I'm just not. But
I know.
like I said, I got to listen. I was impressed that he took care of business with Barrios.
Yeah, but you keep talking about Barrios. Let's look at
you say impressed.
Isaac Cruz. Isaac Cruz.
Yeah, all right. Look, yeah, okay. I'm just telling you that with Barrios dude, the guy's probably 3 weight classes. In all honesty, he's probably 3 weight classes bigger than Tank Davis.
Hey, Ryan's pretty big, man.
Yeah, Ryan's pretty big.
Yeah, but if I think Barrios and Ryan Garcia went in the ring, I think it's a 50-50 fight.
Do Barrios? Barrios and Ryan don't fight the same, and Ryan would knock Barrios out, bro. Come on.
So
I don't know. I don't know.
And Barrios was schooling Tank the whole fight. The only reason he won was because of the knockdowns. If it would have gone to the cards, he would have lost. His own corner said it.
Okay, so
Tank's a slow starter for one, and two, when he had to take care of business, he took care of it. I mean,
he's a slow.
No. He has to look impressive.
It's like
a slow starter. He's a slow starter.
They scored 2 touchdowns, but the fact of the matter is, he knocked him the fuck out.
Gonzalo.
He's a slow starter, but he's facing somebody that's a quick starter. Freaking, what's his name? Tank Davis never knocks anybody out for the most part, like in the early rounds. He goes rounds, many rounds. I watched Barrios last night. They win 11. With Fonseca, they win 7. So he's not going to get you out of there. With Ryan, he don't have the luxury of taking rounds off because this guy will take you out early. So
but who is Ryan Garcia fought like Tank Davis?
If he doesn't knock him out if he doesn't at least knock him out, he's going to hurt him early or he's going to win the beginning of the fight. So Tank Davis better pick up the pace because he's going to be in a lot of danger throughout the beginning of the fight because the speed is real. The speed and the power. So I'm saying he can't take his time up. I'm going to fucking download the information. I'm going to exercise patience. Because all the while you're exercising patience and downloading, this dude's fucking clipping you. He's breaking you down. You're gonna deteriorate if you fucking make it, and I don't think you will because people can't just take shots like that and thinking, okay, later I'm gonna come on strong.
I never thought I would say this. I never thought I would say this. I never thought I would say this on the BDA program, but wow, Mexican delusion is real.
Well, maybe.
It could be.
I
might be blinded.
5 rounds, bro. What the fuck are you talking about? He's a slow starter.
So how do you see Tank beating Ryan then?
Knockout.
What round? How's he gonna do it?
I think it happens between 7 and 9 rounds. No more, no less.
JDA, would you be as confident if there wasn't stipulations? I mean, there was no stipulations for Barrios, and he was just 140.
Look,
so, I mean,
you're acting like
scared.
Listen, the fact of the matter is signed on the dotted line, and number 2.
No, don't come with the bullshit. He's scared, and that's why he has stipulations.
But I'm not
stipulations unless they don't benefit you. Or else the fight wouldn't be happening, and everybody would be bitching.
All right, so my thoughts on the fight. I think that Gervonta Tank Davis is going to win this fight, but who I want to win is, I think it'll really shake shit up, is Ryan Garcia. I think, but other than that, I think Gervonta Tank Davis to get him in the later rounds, like maybe 8, 9.
Why do you want Ryan Garcia to win? You think he's cute or something?
No, it's just more of a thing, is because it's just too much. It's just too much D-Rod. It's too much D-Rod on Gervonta Tank Davis.
Can you expose Black Chibi? We know he's lying.
Hey, Chibi, stop trying to pander to the panel, bro.
Yeah.
You're not
I'm
really
not catering to the panel because I've always said I didn't. I always said Gervonta Tank Davis need to step up in competition, and I always said that Ryan Garcia was a bitch boy for ducking. I always said that. I still think he was ducking, but I never said that he couldn't fight. But I said that I do have Tank Davis winning the fight, but I want Ryan Garcia to win just to shake things up. That's all I was saying.
How does that shake things up? Please elaborate.
It'll just be. It's just that. It'll essentially be an upset.
Judy, why don't you take the knee pads off and then come back to the show?
Whoa, what's going on? Like, why can't I just have a? That's crazy. I tell y'all what.
Wipe your mouth too.
All right. So why y'all think that why y'all think I'm not going for Ryan Garcia?
I think it's because you're also a Devin Haney fan, and you low-key don't want nothing to do with Tank Davis.
Bro, what you mean? Devin Haney don't got nothing to do with this.
Is Devin Haney not your fighter?
Devin Haney down show my fighter. I want Devin Haney to win.
Okay, and by the way, he's ducking. He's scared of Shakur Stevenson, but that's another subject.
Bullshit. All right, hold on. Black Chili. What's your prediction? Just quickly.
I got Tank Davis knocking him out by round 9.
All right.
What was all that bullshit you were just talking about? You wanted Ryan to win, and then you're predicting Tank to win.
I said that. I said I want Ryan to win, but I don't see him winning. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Hey, BDA,
like you're both sides. Get off the fence, bro.
I don't know.
BDA, put me down for Ryan Garcia by decision.
All right, I got you.
And Pucho, you know I was just fucking around when I said Mexican delusion is real. I'm just
it might be. Listen, I'm over it. Too late, though.
You hit that on the money. It's real. Trust me.
You want to talk about some delusions? Let's talk about all that shit people was talking after that Wilder fight with Fury, bro. The Mexicans don't do that shit.
Hey, hold on. I forgot. Zero Cool. You said Ryan by what?
Decision.
Okay.
Decision. I've seen him win by knockout.
PBC fight. You think Garcia is going to get the decision? No way.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, Tank doesn't win too many rounds. He lets go the first 5 to 6. It's usually it's usually his opponent.
Tank ain't finna do shit for 6 rounds, bro. He's finna dance around like he's gonna run around like he did, like he ran away from Rolly, bro.
Yeah, you know what? I've said. Hold on, just quickly. I've noticed that in a lot of it has happened in boxing. It happens in boxing where when you have 2 punchers, everybody thinks that it has to end by knockout, and then it doesn't. Could be one of those fights.
Yeah.
I expect that from Tank. Tank's gonna run, bro. Tank's gonna run.
Yeah.
I seen an interview with Coach Calvin talking about we hired Kenny Porter because he did really good work with us before about cardio based workouts. When he fought Rolly. So his game plan is going to be to dance around, bro.
And he's not going to be able. He's not going to be able to do it with that speed. He's going to have to. He's going to have to literally get up in there because, bro, Ryan Garcia does have power, and Ryan Garcia will sit there and fight with you. But like I said,
what are you talking about?
Bro, what I'm trying to say
is... Did you hear what he said?
Davis is... Go ahead.
No, time out. Hold up, Chibi, hold up. Did you hear what he said? He said that Tank is going to be moving around. And we have seen that you can move around on Ryan Garcia. Look at that Tago fight. The African
that's a different fight, though. I'm telling you, he's not coming in like that. Right? Tank Davis is going to be on that boy's neck the whole fight. He's not going to sit here and just...
I disagree. It's going to be half and half. He will walk him down at some point, but he's going to box him too.
He'll come in around the 7th and 8th round.
Yeah, I want to see Tank
fucking tagged.
Cut that distance and see what happens. Trying to cut. I mean, Tank, he's a fucking midget.
He is.
Yeah,
that's why Ryan's going to be jabbing him up, piling up points until Tank decides to come forward. That's what he needs to do.
All right. So the big question is this:
Ryan Garcia had an elite jab.
So
what are you talking about?
The big question is this: have we ever seen Tank Davis fight somebody with an amount of power that he will respect his power though? Like he
Rolly. Rolly. Yeah, he ran away from Rolly, and who else?
Bro, he definitely Rolly's the hardest punch he's ever been.
All of a sudden, Tank turned into a bike rider when he got hit with some power by Cruz, and he didn't want to go near Rolly for 6 rounds, bro.
This guy hates Tank Davis with a passion.
Is that not the truth, bro?
No, it's called boxing, bro. Running
to me.
I think
What's
running
wrong?
is when you're losing the fight and you're just moving around. Like that's a waste of time. That's running because you're not going to win.
Was Erislandy Lara running against Canelo?
No, because a lot of people thought he was winning all the rounds against
the
Canelo.
best example of running.
Show ass up.
No, hold on. Let me give you an example of running. What Rigo did against Casemiro.
You brought up to go. You brought up to go like that wasn't running, bro. Was to go running?
Yeah, that was
not?
running too. No,
So
no,
why
no.
would
I
you
agree.
even bring
That
up?
was. But the difference is to go wasn't winning round. Like it's one thing to like move around and pot shot somebody and score points. It's another thing to just move
When
around.
Boots Ennis was fighting that Karen guy, was he running?
Yes.
Really?
He literally lost every round. Hey, look. Let me ask you a question. If you're in the 8th round and and you know you're down at least 8 rounds, and you know you need a knockout, and you still move, try to survive, is that not running?
Was it open scoring? How would he know?
But we knew he was down on the cards. Everybody.
Who's we? Who's we?
You thought he was winning the fight?
Yeah, he was all boxing boots. He was making him look stupid. He was making him wing shots. Who else is doing 180s?
You obviously have some type of
bro. Who else is doing 180s off of shots that they miss, bro, in the ring? What champion's doing that?
You the only person here that believes that Karen was winning that fight. Just stop.
He was boxing his ass off. He was making him look dumb.
Can I ask a question, Pucho? You didn't enjoy that Lara Canelo fight?
Come on, man.
I actually watched the fight again. I thought Canelo won.
Be careful.
But I don't think that Lara was running. I thought he was just playing to his strength.
Boxing.
No,
that's
hold
boxing.
on. I know he was doing that at the beginning, and then at the end he was
stopped
running. He was
punching.
come on.
He stopped punching.
He was
and
stuck.
then Canelo was slipping in body shots, and then I noticed that he stopped throwing punches. He was just moving and moving. And he
So
really
what do you want him to do? Fight like a caveman? Is that what you want him to do, or do you want him to box?
Hey,
Yeah,
you got
that
throw
guy.
punches in order to box, but he stopped.
They want Lara to sit in the pocket and trade with Canelo.
Oh,
That's so
guys, you go to the
No,
extreme.
that's
To,
not
no,
what
that
I
doesn't
said.
make. Come on,
Stop
it's
twisting
one
my
or the
words. That's not
other.
what I said.
Not
started
you, bro. But
moving
I'm
more.
saying some of these idiots. Not you. But I'm saying some of these idiots. That's what they want.
I'm not.
No,
okay.
nobody's saying that. You're saying that. Nobody has said that.
What do you want him to do then?
How about
Well,
you punch, you move back, you don't just on the back foot the whole time. The back. At some point, he even jumped back. He look at
No,
that fight.
he
I'll find the clip. He jumps back. Like I've never seen that before. It was so pathetic. He was so scared. He
No,
jumped. He
This is
leaped.
what happened.
You still haven't
was
answered the
outboxing
question, Bucho.
Canelo.
You just said.
What to do? You guys
Okay,
have to take
okay,
a step forward, bro.
So
You
you're
can't be
saying
taking
what
back
do I
steps
want
the
him
whole
to
fucking
do?
fight.
How you can't fight like
No.
Culdister Chavez? That's a good. That's good defense. Defense now
You
is
say
supposed
Chavez
to
is
be.
a pressure fighter.
No,
Yeah.
yeah,
But-
he's
Yeah,
a pressure
but-
fighter. Hold on.
One of
What
the
I'm trying to
strengths-
say, what I'm trying to say is that defense does not necessarily mean being on the back foot and not throwing and losing rounds.
But not
All right?
everybody can fight going forward and be slick at the same time, Bucho.
You
That's
have
hard to do.
All right,
That is
Canelo.
true.
Look at Canelo Jacobs.
Only Canelo.
Look at
I mean,
Canelo Jacobs.
Loma can do that shit. It's
Well,
only a
if he
few
can, then
fighters
that's
that can
his
do
problem.
Yeah,
Okay, you can be on the back foot. No, you can be on the back foot. You're just not gonna win the fight.
that. No,
That's
you
it.
need to do what you
Yeah.
do best.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
though.
what you do best,
that's
run, then change sports.
When people say he was boxing, that's too subjective. Just because you're boxing, what does that mean? Does that mean you're winning? Just because you're boxing, that means you're winning?
Yes.
How are you boxing? How are you boxing?
Gonzalo, boxing is everything you do in the ring that's legal. If you're punching, that's boxing.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
understand.
That's
These
boxing.
fucking,
Hey,
they're
I got a
manipulating
question.
the words. All right, they want
Was
to.
Pernell Whitaker running? Was Pernell Whitaker running against Chavez?
He was.
Oh my god!
He wasn't.
Well, here we go.
It's running when a white person does it. It's sweet science when a black dude does it. That's the
Exactly.
difference, bro.
That dude that Bam Rodriguez was fighting the other day, was he running?
Garcia.
Well, I mean that's too broad.
Tell me,
When you
bro, was he
generalize
running?
he's boxing, well, let's take apart how was he boxing and what was the other guy doing? Because he was boxing
What's that
too.
background
He was
noise?
boxing.
Somebody
All right,
said-
somebody needs to mute. Somebody needs to mute. Black
Yes,
Chibi.
you,
All right,
Chibi.
I'm gonna have to mute Black Chibi.
Sorry. All right. Hold on.
I mute.
Somebody's I don't even know.
So when you say
Turn
somebody
off your
was
anime,
boxing,
bro.
Gonzalo,
when
go
you
ahead.
say somebody was, when you say somebody was boxing, like what you're referencing to as boxing, that means he's untouchable. He's not getting touched. He's not getting hit at all. He's not. The other guy's not doing anything. He's not like a light body facing your style of supposedly boxing. So boxing, all of a sudden you're invincible. Well, how was he boxing? Because the other dude's boxing as well. But now you want to journalize
let me
and make
explain.
a
Let me
statement.
explain.
He's boxing. Now he's boxing and he's invincible. He's not getting
Okay.
touched.
So let me explain,
Basically,
Gonzalo.
I get it. You're a little bit too much on the back foot. You're running a little too much, but now all of a sudden that style makes it 100% proof and it's evidence that you're absolutely winning the fight just because
Okay,
you're doing
but
that.
let me explain, Gonzalo. If a fighter is moving but outlanding his opponent every round, that's outboxing. That's not running. If I'm moving and I'm piecing you up and you can't really touch me, that's called boxing. I'm not running from you. I'm still hitting you and you can't hit me. That's just the difference.
I have a question. I have a question. What if the other, let's say, one boxer's on the back foot and then the other guy decides to be on the back foot as well? What will happen?
Well, that usually doesn't happen. One guy has to come forward.
Well, exactly.
Somebody has to.
Okay,
Someone has
so-
to.
Yeah,
Okay.
somebody's going to have to initiate offense.
Okay, so I got one. Wait. I got one. So was Canelo running away from Triple G in the first fight?
No,
so.
he was boxing.
No, he lost that fight, in my opinion.
Okay, but he was still boxing. He was not running. What are you talking about?
Okay, running. Okay, no, he was okay. Hold on. He wasn't running because there's multiple instances where Canelo was on the ropes. And by the way, it's true though. When you're out of range and you continue to maintain that distance, then you don't want to engage. You're out of range. And this is what Lara was doing the whole time. He was trying to stay out of range. To me, that looks like a fighter that's actually he's losing on the ring generalship criteria. He's not dominating the fight.
Yeah. Lara did what's his strongest point. Lara did what he had to do because any other style he was not going to be good at. So he did what his strength was, and that was smart to fight that way. So
sometimes, it depends because sometimes your style might not be so favorable against somebody else. So I always encourage boxers to try to at least be somewhat flexible. You don't want to be able to, you might have your best suit, but you also might need to do something else.
Exactly.
And I think but my problem with that fight is that, he started out excellent. He was outboxing Canelo, but after a while, I noticed something. He stopped throwing a lot of punches, and Canelo was sneaking in a lot of good body shots. I'm like, oh shit!
I don't care. Lara won that fight, if you ask me.
No, and it was a close fight. Boxing, he didn't really start boxing again until the ninth round, or I think 9th or 10th, whichever one.
If one pressure fighter is initiating the offense and you're barely throwing and you're the one taking the shots, that's running. But that's not happening with Lara. Lara was definitely piecing up Canelo at times. That's boxing.
At times.
Yeah, I thought that was me in the beginning. I thought he looked excellent in the first 3 rounds. But after that, his punch output started to drop, and I noticed that. I'm like, okay, now he's not punching as he was the first 3 rounds.
Right. He was extremely afraid. He was trying to stay out of range in the last part of the fight, and it looked pathetic. I can't give you a round if you're fighting like that. The problem is these judges. They love the back foot boxers, and the commentators, they love guys on the back foot, and look at that, look at those. Oh, he's outboxing.
I mean, it wasn't that way with Marlon Tapales and what's his name? Well, I guess it kind of was because what's his name? Some guy voted for MJ to win by a long margin. I'm like, nah, that fight was very close. It was close, and I thought Marlon Tapales. That's what I was talking about. I think it's good for you guys to be more flexible, the boxers. I mean, because Marlon Tapales is a very, he's known throughout his career to be a pressure fighter. He boxed kind of similar, not Floyd, but similar to Floyd.
And that's why Tank Davis is going to beat Ryan Garcia because Tank Davis can do both.
I agree. People are saying that he was running away from Pitbull, but he was trying to show his skills because people saying, "Oh, he's a big puncher." And I'm like, don't worry about trying to show your skills. Just
would you say that Ryan Garcia is going to be the hardest puncher he had to face?
Probably,
yeah, I agree.
I mean, who knows? He says Rolly is really, really hard too. I mean,
yeah, he has to get in there with Ryan. And then we'll see.
I mean, skill level wise,
I don't believe that. I don't believe that though. That if you're in the ring and you ain't knocking somebody out, is because you're trying to show your skills. If you had a chance to knock that dude out and get him out of there early, you would.
Bro, you act like injuries don't happen in the fight. Come on, Gonzalo.
Well, it happened.
He
You know
showed his
why? You
proof.
know
His
why?
hand was
But that's part of the game because Pitbull can cover up well. He got a tough head and he was keeping his elbows pinned to the side of his
okay. That's
rib cage.
cool. Pitbull still lost.
So when Tank was throwing body shots, he probably clipped one of the elbows for sure because you saw what Pitbull Cruz was doing. He was keeping that guard tight. So I mean, that's the consequence of fighting a guy that keeps the guard tight, and that's the risk you run. So if he ends up breaking his hand again, it's
Pitbull
part
should
of the
name one
game.
of his children Tank Davis because this motherfucker, I've never seen somebody get so much clout after a loss.
He didn't lose. He whooped his ass, bro. Him blaming his hand,
He
getting
did
injured
lose.
mid-fight, is like saying Vitali, oh, the only reason he lost is because that cut, bro. It is what it is. It happened during the fight, bro.
I see him looking at the box right now. It says L on his record. So
Yeah, but
That's what it
people
was.
saying that you try to that's gotta be some fanboy narrative shit that he was trying to show his skills, and that's why you didn't knock him out. That's ridiculous.
Hey, can I make?
Oh,
I
he
make a
fucking
point?
hurt his hand, but whose fucking problem is that's right?
The
That's
youngin hurt his hand.
So what if he?
Well,
What if he
what did
did?
that tell you about Pitbull? He can cut
What
off
if
the
he did?
ring on a one-handed fighter.
Tank was running, bro. Oh, he was boxing. The Swiss
Hey,
Science.
That has nothing. That has nothing to do with Pitbull Cruz.
Yeah, let
a
me say
one-handed
this.
man. That's crazy.
No, rare breed. Hold up. I don't know which like. The thing is that Tank, even after he broke his hand or whatever, low key, I still think like he was kind of. I don't say he was running, but he was like on the back foot. It just is what it is, right? He was stepping back, but
He was trying to counter him.
yeah, but at some point I did notice that he would throwing the jab more with his right hand, and then when people come kind of close, he'll snap a right hook, and I ain't gonna lie, it looked like he had some power on those right hooks. So even with one hand, I think he was trying to knock Pitbull out.
Yeah, but he usually
if the
makes it with the
opportunity
left.
presented itself, if the opportunity presented itself, which it didn't, I think he would have been willing to throw the broken left hand, even if it. So I don't necessarily think like he probably would have fucked it up more, but I still think at the end of the day he would have been like mentally prepared to use it, even if it was fucked up. So I wouldn't necessarily bring that up, 'cause, yeah.
That's mentioning he's not used to being a shorter guy.
But it wasn't even broken. It wasn't even fractured. It was just a deep bruise.
Yeah, because I did notice.
Come on, bro. Fucking bruise, dude. Come on, bro.
Yeah, I did notice that he still would throw it.
All right, hold on, guys. I have a super chat from Get These Hands. Thank you for the contribution. He says, Floyd fought smart against Canelo too, rare breed. Never ran.
Yeah, he was in the pocket against Canelo.
Yeah, that's true. Well,
that's because Canelo's not really a pressure fighter. Like Canelo's really a counter puncher at his heart.
Oh,
there's
yeah.
not
Ask
one
that to
fight
Caleb
that
Plant.
Mayweather didn't run a marathon.
Well, yeah, you gonna walk
His
down
career.
Caleb Plant. He's got no power, so there's nothing to respect with Caleb Plant. No disrespect to him.
So what was Canelo doing in that second Triple G fight? He wasn't putting on the pressure?
Yeah, no, I'm not saying he can't walk you down. I'm not saying he can't.
Just admit he can do it.
I'm saying, Canelo's he's a pretty complete fighter, but he does have weaknesses. But yes, that is correct. Canelo can do both.
But Charlo can beat him.
He can be.
Charlo can do both too.
Charlo can do it all.
You still think Charlo can beat Canelo, right?
I think that's a 50-50 fight.
All right.
Because Canelo's like a couple years ago, I would have told you Canelo.
Not
right
old
now,
drunk ass Charlo that was asking people for a fight. Not him. That's not what you're talking about, right?
Canelo's
I'm the undisputed champ.
You know Charlo's older than him, right?
He is, but Canelo's got more wear and tear on his body.
Let's fight 2 months actually.
But
all right, so they're both equally.
The WBC hanging on with Jamal, saying that they support him, is some complete bullshit. He's had the belt for 2 years, inactive, almost 2 years.
Yeah,
I mean, he should be stripped, just like Leo Santa Cruz back when he wasn't fighting. He should have been stripped too.
Yeah, you're right on that. Canelo should be stripped.
I would support that.
Hey, Jimmy got on. He hasn't said anything. I'm interested in his take with the Garcia Tank Davis fight.
He's picking Tank.
I don't to be honest with you, man, I'm just not excited for it at all. I'm just really not. Just because, you know why? There's nothing coming from it. I don't really care who's the best 136 pounder. And you know, I mean, it's just, you know, what the fuck, like, and then if you're such the killer, you're the baddest 135 pounder on the planet, yada yada yada. I'm talking about people on Twitter and Leonard Ellaby. Then why the fuck did you have to fucking Maximus the fucking dude right before the final fight of Caesar? Then smile for me, brother. Give him a little stick in the fucking lung with the fucking stiletto.
Exactly,
you know what I mean? Like,
bro.
Melt them down to 136 pounds. Because I'll tell you right now, I saw a picture of Garcia the other day. Of course, right now he's feeling great. He's like probably 150 pounds, all shredded up, 4% body fat, you know, 6% counting the shit around his inners. Wait till the last fucking week. That motherfucker is going to be ashy gray and a zombie on the scales. You watch how sunken his face is going to look. He's going to be miserable. He's not going to be nowhere near as strong as he could. I mean, yeah. I mean, you don't have that much mass on. He's flexing his abs, and he's lean now. Like, fuck, he's got ripples, and, you know, you can see the fibers in his gut. So that's telling you he's not got much fat left. So at this point, all he's doing is burning off muscle. And they knew what they were doing. Listen, it'd be one thing if Tank didn't ever fought at 140, but you go up to fight for another junior title. Let's give a shout out to the WBA. Remember 2 years ago when they said we're doing away with the secondary titles to stop the confusion? Because I'll tell you, Tank sits there with a big smile on his face when Brian Costner announces him as a 3-division world champion. It's like, dude, what do we live in fucking pretend land, dude? You won one real title at one division. Stop the bullshit. All right? Stop the bullshit. Yeah. And so pull the fucking titles. He's won one title. And, okay, what's the other dude? Garcia. Let's be honest. For the amount he fights, he's a full-time Instagram model, part-time professional boxer who's one fight away from fucking prospect status against the guy whose only legitimate opponent was the one real title he won 6 years ago. I don't give a fuck. I don't really care what
Jimmy, going back to
because nothing comes forward for it. Sorry, Bucho, what's that?
No, sorry, but what you said about the fact that Tank already fought at 140 against Barrios, and now for this fight he doesn't want to make it a 140 pounder fight. This reminds me of Floyd when he fought Cotto in 2012 at 154, but then when he fights Canelo, it has to be 152. Like, why?
Because when you're spinning on the yeah. Go
ahead, Jimmy. Go ahead.
No,
Jimmy.
you go, brother. You go. I just went on. You go.
No, I was just gonna say, people ask for something in a contract because it directly benefits them. If it didn't benefit them, they wouldn't ask for it. So, for all the people saying like, "Oh, like he signed on that line," like if he didn't, everybody would be complaining that this fight wasn't made. So, I mean, like. You can't have it both ways, people. I mean, like...
Okay. Well, since you say that, I want you guys to look at the open lines Discord and look at that tweet by Ryan Garcia. He's literally a hypocrite.
Lion is a liar, though. I will tell you that.
You want to talk about liars? This fool fucking wiped his ass with a toothbrush and tried to blame it on his fucking baby mama. And then he tried to make his long ass tweet. I'm not a monster. I never put my hands on nobody. Like, come on, bro. He's getting sued for assaulting people, bro. He's getting sued for assaulting people.
He does assault people, but it doesn't mean that.
But do you guys?
Well, he's a liar too, bro. He's a hypocrite too. So what? So what now?
Okay. Well, we agree they're both hypocrites. But do you see that tweet?
No, bro. I'm right here on the Discord, looking at y'all's faces.
Oh, I got it.
You got it. Can you read that for everybody, Bucho?
Should I show it to everybody? Okay, I'm gonna read it. If you sign a contract to fight at a weight, and then later decide you can't because reality hits you, then that's on you. Don't agree to something you knew you weren't capable, and then expect for everybody to just oblige you to miss the. Okay, I get it.
Ryan actually addressed this, bro. Ryan actually addressed this, and this is not the same thing.
It is the same thing.
Look, hold on, bro. Look, hasn't missed weight yet. This isn't the same thing. Ryan's talking about this dude trying to get the weight changed at the last minute. Ryan's not trying to do that shit. Ryan said, "Guess what? I was just saying all this. I was just saying all this to expose him for his character that he is. It's not that I can't make the weight. It's not that it's a big deal. It's that I'm showing the kind of person this guy is. He's gonna put me at a catch weight, and then he's gonna give me a rehydration clause. He's some big gangster ass tough dude from the hood, but he's doing this bitch shit. That's what he's doing, and that's what the whole point of Ryan
Nah,
complaining
man.
is about.
By the way, Rare Breed,
Fuck that would. That's too much truth
It's
for
not
you,
gonna affect
Goofy.
them. It's just ludicrous. It's
And,
gonna
and by the
affect
way,
them, period.
if Ryan Garcia complains about the weight, then what he said, he's contradicting what he said, but he hasn't contradicted it yet, or maybe he never will, right?
If I was
The main
Ryan,
part of the tweet was if you sign something.
No.
It says if you sign, and then he says that's on you. And then he says, don't expect, and I know he says if you sign a contract to fight at the weight and then later decide you can't reality hit you, blah, blah, then that's on you. Don't agree to something you knew you weren't capable. All right. So he believes he's capable of doing it. We believe he's not. Jimmy said he's not. If you look at him, it doesn't look like he might be able to do it. I don't know. We'll see at the weigh-in.
Rare Breed,
If Ryan Garcia would have had some belts going into this fight, maybe he would have some leverage. That's his fault.
Rare Breed. Do you say the same thing?
That was his fault for not having leverage, bro.
Yeah,
so you're making excuses for this. You're making excuses for this bitch shit, bro.
And getting stripped.
I'm sorry. Say that again, bro.
There's other guys who won 35 with belts. He wanted nothing to do with.
Got his belt stripped for coming over.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ask that again, bro.
Did you have the same attitude when Shakur Stevenson lost his 2 belts to the scale? Like, was he not disappointed?
I was. Yeah, I was not. I was definitely. I'm not gonna say upset because I'm not like I'm his father.
Yeah, he's not upset, bro.
But yeah, that was not cool that he missed weight for 130. But I'm glad he went to 135 because there's nothing at 130. So.
And well, I just want to say, let's be honest. If he had titles or real belts, fucking Davis wouldn't have fought him. He spent the last 6 years swerving anybody who had a real title.
I agree with that.
And now he's been holding on to that secondary one like it's the antidote, waiting for fucking. He's hoping what happens is Haney wins them all. Haney's going to instantly bump up to 140, and then what happens? Because he's the junior, he'll fight either in a fucking for a vacant, so he'll fight some scrub to get full championship status, or they'll just pass it down to him. You know what I mean? So I mean, again, but he won't actually fight anybody to become the real champion.
There's so many good fighters at 135. What are the chances it's going to be a scrub? We need Frank Martin.
I think Williams Zepeda and Frank Martin are the highest in the WA.
Zepeda, Shakur.
But he'll fight the gnome. He's not going to fight those guys. He'll end up fighting Isaac Cruz or somebody else, or Rolly Romero for a fucking look at that. Aren't they giving Rolly a fucking title shot right now?
You're preaching to the choir right now. I told you guys a long time ago.
Take it.
Go ahead. I told you guys a long time ago. Zhang versus Ryan is low key a cherry pick, but you guys don't really see. I look at it that way because Ryan Garcia to me is not very good. I don't care what nobody says.
I just think that
Tank isn't very good.
To say that either would be a
guys, let me read a comment here from the Quacks who rejoined the membership program. He says this fight should be at 140. Belt don't mean shit. That I agree 100%. This fight should be on 140, and the belts, fuck the belts.
I mean, he's already got the reach advantage, this height advantage. Damn, does he need to be 20 pounds over on fight night as well too, just to win the fight?
I always thought this fight was going to happen.
So why does he need a cash weight and rehydration clause though? That's unheard of.
Basically, Tank actually did Ryan a favor.
If you want somebody to be at weight, you got to weigh him the day of the fight, not the day before.
But wait, time out. What's the issue here? Because let's be honest about this weight clause thing. Both of them fought at 135 before. Both of them have to be within. Wait, let me finish.
140.
Let me finish and I'll let you guys respond.
Tank is a champion at 140. The fight should have been 140.
Let me finish and I'll let you respond. Just give me 5 more seconds. Okay, just give me 5 more seconds and I'll let you respond, please.
Hurry up, boy.
She shut the fuck up.
Wait the fucking 5 seconds.
Motherfucker.
Hurry the fuck up. Hurry up.
You can get real tough over a fucking phone. Like, I really wish motherfuckers could really meet over this. Like,
let Rare Breed go. Let Rare Breed go. Then you can go.
Hurry up.
Hold on. All right, guys. This is getting out of control. Rare Breed.
Tell him to hurry up.
All right, Rare Breed, go ahead. Rare Breed, go ahead.
Get him a fucking tampon. All right. So look, both of them have to fight within 10 pounds. So they both have to follow the same stipulations. Not like one has to follow the other one doesn't. So shut the fuck up.
Answer my question. Answer my question. Why is he fight Mario Barrios 140? But
Tank is already at 135, so 1 pound more is not the same as Ryan coming down from 140 to 136. Come on, not the same.
But he's fought at 135 before. It's not going to kill him. Make it one more time.
With 135 last year at the Fortuna fight. I was there, and he said, "I'm done with 135." He couldn't make the weight, is what he was saying.
Nobody forced him to take this fight. Nobody forced him to take this fight. He could always wanted to go and fight Teofimo or something like that if he wanted to.
No, then he's gonna be called a doc. They're gonna say he's docking the fight. And
if he fight Josh Hill, nobody's gonna call him a duck. That's still a tough fight.
No. If he doesn't fight Tank, he's no. This is what happened with Lomachenko. He decided to fight Teofimo Lopez. Hold on. He fight. No. Hold on. Lomachenko decided to fight Lopez, and people were saying, "Oh, he docked Haney." So this would have been the same thing with Ryan Garcia. If he would have fought Josh Taylor or whoever, he would have been called a docker.
Are we forgetting this dude has been in 2 weight classes, has 0 belts? Ryan Garcia's been in 2 weight classes, 0 belts.
So what?
So it's not this some guy. Who cares if people call him a duck? He's already that anyways. Like,
who cares if he calls him a duck?
Yeah, he was supposed to fight Haney in the Eliminator. That's why he went to the WC Eliminator. He was supposed to fight Haney. Then they faced off. They were talking to each other, but he was like, yeah. But he wasn't a WC Eliminator, but he never had any intention to really fight Haney.
Of course not. We know he ducked Devin Haney. Everybody knows that.
Yeah. Hey, Verbrid. Did Lomachenko dock Devin Haney?
No.
Verbrid. I want Verbrid to answer this question. Verbrid, answer the question, please.
Okay, so was Devin Haney not the mandatory for his for Loma's belt?
Just answer the question. Answer the question.
I mean, they made him the franchise champion so he could avoid Devin. So I don't know if he personally avoided him, but somebody did not want him to fight Lomachenko. I'm gonna just say that.
All right, let's leave a super chat here. Earl Stevens, he says, "Thank you for the contribution." He says Ryan should walk in the ring with what? Ryan should walk in the ring in a dashiki and fight zebra print. I don't know what
Ryan's coming straight Zulu, bro. You know.
Oh, okay, I get it. Yeah.
and let's address the
booty shaking bitches on both sides of him.
Well, let's address the fucking the franchise title. He did that. Bob did that so he could iron out the Teofimo Lopez fight. So, which is a much tougher fight than Haney, especially back then, because back then Haney had just won the title 2 weeks after Loma fought Campbell. Well, he was in camp to fight somebody else, in which he blew his shoulder out and had surgery and was on the shelf for 6 months. The week they announced his surgery, he signed his contract to fight Lopez. So the signing of the franchise had absolutely zero to do with Devin Haney. Nothing whatsoever. Haney wasn't fighting anybody. That motherfucker was walking around in a cast, his arm in a sling for the next 6 months. And then COVID hit and it got pushed off. The fight got pushed off to September. But that was a contrived fucking narrative pushed out by the LDBC and Bill Haney himself when it was a physical, I repeat, a physical impossibility for Haney and Lomachenko to have ever fought after he was named mandatory. He wasn't named the mandatory. He was just named number 1 at that. He was never mandated to fight him.
Jimmy, it doesn't matter how many times you explain it. It's been
I know.
But this
everybody's heard that 100 times, and he just said it again. Oh, well, somebody don't want him to fight.
I didn't say he ducked him, Jimmy.
You just said somebody didn't want him to fight.
You left it in the open.
You just did.
Come on.
Yep, I really believe that.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter what you believe. How could you believe something wasn't happening? Bob, as he said, what I'm doing, I'm trying to clear all paths to make the fight everybody's asking for, and everybody was. And Lomachenko has never got anybody.
Okay, Jim, I'm just say this. Well, now that the fight has been made, I want no excuses. I don't want to say he's too old or he's not that.
Listen, I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying, when has Lomachenko ever ducked anybody? Ever? He signed that contract. He signed a contract to fight Lopez 5 months before Lopez signed his contract. He signed a contract to fight Haney 3 months before Haney signed his. That's what Bob has said. This kid's a dream. And you just say, oh, whatever, and I'll sign it. That's all this kid fucking cares about. He wants to fight. It's one of the reasons why I like the kid. He doesn't make fucking headaches. But he wanted that whole, he was ducking Haney, was a crock of shit. Haney was basically a contender who walked his way into a fucking belt. But when he was named mandatory, it was 2 weeks after fucking Loma won his belt off, literally 14 days after he just was in the ring against Campbell. Well, he was in camp of San Diego.
Well,
So
that'd be
when was
pretty
he-
humiliating to
was
lose
he-
to a guy
All right,
who got handed a
well,
belt.
well,
Hey, guys.
it doesn't. He didn't get. Well, bottom line is he was named mandatory. Well, he was in camp to fight somebody else. Was he supposed to say, "I'm going to leave camp to fight you, Loma"? No, he didn't say that. Wasn't asking to. No, should he? He was in camp to fight somebody else, in which he tore his shoulder up. It was put on a shelf. That's why there was 13 months between fights. That fight was never even talked about. It wasn't even on the horizon. Nobody was mentioning Haney back then because he was pretty much still a prospect. That's when everybody was calling him email champ and all that other bullshit. That whole thing that the WBC caused, that for some reason Lomachenko took the brunt of. Like, that was his fault.
If Devin Haney loses against Lomachenko, how will that affect his career?
Oh,
I personally wouldn't hold it against him.
I'm gonna say he was weight drained and all that. I'm not gonna say that. I'm like I said, no excuses on both sides.
Listen, they're going in the ring. I respect both of them for taking it. I'm never going to dog a fighter for taking a fight. But my thing is this: you give it your all, like Lubin. I'm more of a Lubin fan now after that loss against fucking when he fought Fundora. That fucking kid showed unbelievable heart. His head would look like the Elephant Man. And that motherfucker kept getting up, kept coming back. I mean, I don't know if he's going to be the same fighter after that, but my respect for him grew through the ceiling. So to me, that's all it is. You leave it in the ring, you give it all you got. I don't care if you win or lose. Don't be a douche.
What do you think about Glazer's comment that Fundora quit against Mendoza? I disagree with that.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, like
That's
he was
what
hurt.
Fundora was out cold.
Yeah, like
he
the kid got rocked. He got rocked. Took another shot. Yeah, and he hit his head on the back of the canvas. Like, I don't think Glazer.
He was gone, man. He even asked the ref. Like, it took about 15 seconds. He's like, "Shit, what? Oh man, did you get to 10?" And the ref's like, "Yeah, buddy, I did." And he was like squeezing the back of his neck. Yeah, he was out. And I thought he took that loss graciously, like a man. You know, I was like, "Yeah, shit happens. This is boxing." But again, he did it to himself. He shouldn't be throwing uppercuts from that far out. That kid had one chance to beat him, and that was landing a big lucky shot. You know what I mean? Not lucky. That's a bad thing because those two follow-up punches would really put him away. That first one put him on Queer Street. The left-right after was nice, and it put him out. But man, I'll tell you, man, the kid's a class act. The way he handled himself after that loss.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's just so weird. You know, his frame. He's like super skinny and I don't know. Like he's not there. He's definitely not a weight bully because he's so skinny and he's so tall. Yeah, it's just
If he was a special fighter, like a truly special fighter of that frame, he could have went all the way up to like cruiserweight. Maybe, I don't know if he could put on that kind of weight, but
maybe
at least light heavyweight.
All right, guys, I have a super chat here from Bushido Key. He says, Lopez was far more battle-tested than Devin Haney. Teofimo Lopez was the more dangerous choice at the time. Well, he was the champion. So, yeah.
The only reason you say more dangerous is because he's got more power. That doesn't necessarily make you a better fighter.
That's true.
That's dangerous.
At the time, he was.
But the people were more interested in the fight when the fight was signed. I remember how people were even people that weren't like big boxing fans. I knew WWE fans that were really excited for this fight.
Oh God!
Yeah, it was a good fight.
It was.
And
all right,
but you know what do you guys think about the undercard for Ryan Garcia and the Tank?
It's
weak. Beck back. I can't wait for Beck to meet and Rosado.
I'm not really interested to see Rosado fight anymore. I like Rosado
retired.
I need Rosado to retire, man. He's done enough for
all
me.
I'm saying is I need Beck to get that W. That's all I need to see from Beck. I'm a big Beck fan. Love watching him fight. That's just me, though. That's just personal. But
Morel, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying it's a good card. I like it.
I mean, at this point, the only thing with him is getting knocked out, stopped. Rosado. That's the only thing left with that guy because nobody stopped him since Triple G. I guess if there's anything that's wonder if he can get stopped, but That's it. Now, DAZN is only charging $60 for this fight. So what's going on? DAZN is showing it everywhere outside of the United States, but Showtime's got U.S. rights. Or if you have if you're a member of DAZN, or can you buy it from DAZN that night? I mean, how are they actually working that?
No, in the U.S., it's a Showtime pay-per-view, right?
So it's $80.
Yeah, outside the U.S., it's on DAZN. So I just checked, and it's $84 Canadian. So that's
someone told me that in the UK it was free.
$62 US in Canada.
Someone told me in the UK it was free.
Maybe.
So what happens when Rosado knocks out Beck the Bully again, bro?
That'd be crazy. Not happening.
That would be crazy. I doubt it.
Is he fighting that same kid that he knocked out?
Yeah. You know, he got all crazy about.
Round 2, baby, let's go.
That guy's not even that good, bro.
When you pay two fighters a lot of money for
the way he holds his hands all out, his elbows all out like that, he look weird as hell.
Yeah, I never
heard
said
that he was a karate fighter.
I
never said he was
that loss from Rosado, bro. He hasn't changed anything at all about the way he fights.
Yeah. He's more patient now. More patient now.
Bro.
I watch him. I don't think you watch him. I do. So
I watched him, bro, and he looks exactly the same, bro.
Oh, he don't.
And he's gonna be susceptible to the same shot.
We'll see. You just don't know boxing.
All right, you're mad your boy got knocked out, and he's gonna get knocked out again, bro. It's okay.
No, it's not gonna happen.
I'll be here to talk about it with you afterwards.
Stop Rosado. All you do is talk. He's just stop Rosado. And
we'll see. You know, Morrell, he's fighting a guy. I don't know.
I'll be here to talk to you about it afterwards.
Morrell, he's fighting one of those. Another Ghanaian. I wish he would fight someone that's more known. You know, there's a couple of guys around the middleweight that are waiting for a good opportunity.
Who's that? Is that Michael Bentley, the dude that went with the distance with Janibek, or no? The Ghanaian dude you're talking about?
No, he's one of those. His last name is Agbeko. His family's been a pretty successful one. I think one of his family members fought Abner Mares.
Okay, King Kong and Becko's cousin or something.
Yeah, he's from that family of guys. He's fighting Morrell. You know, I from what I heard, Morrell's going to go from this fight to a David Benavidez fight. I don't know. I think that's a big jump.
Yeah, Morrell's dangerous, man. I know people say he's dirty, but he's good. Hopefully, he can still make 168. He's a good fighter. Got a lot of hype around him.
Yeah. Hey, yo, most people on the panel will say that predict Tank to beat Ryan, right? What do you?
No, I don't think so. I think it's the other way around.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Me personally, I'm kind of 50-50 on it too. But if y'all was to predict like what type of punch or what type of sequence, what type of combo, like what would y'all say?
Ryan left hook. Ryan left hook.
What was the question, bro?
Yeah, what was the question?
Yeah, so okay, Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis. Like, if they were to knock each other out, like, what punch would y'all pick? Would y'all pick the Tank uppercut? Would y'all pick the Ryan Garcia?
Ryan by left hook and Tank by right power punch.
With Tank, man, an uppercut, I don't know, because he's significantly taller. It could happen, though.
Nah, he's not.
He's not going to get an uppercut on him. He's not going to get come in for an uppercut. Tank's gonna have to throw the overhand left. He's gonna have to catch Ryan coming in or out with that, and that's also gonna be Ryan's opportunity to catch his left hook while he throws it over it.
Has Ryan knocked anybody out without using the left hook? Like, what other punches he used to knock people out?
The right hand.
Well, I've seen him knock people out and pass with the right hand on the way up.
Yeah,
I've seen him to the body.
The left hook. I mean, the right hook.
Hook to the body. Left hook downstairs. Campbell. He took him out with the left to the body, man.
Yeah, he got it on both hands, bro.
And everybody talks about Ryan's power, man. I think his greatest asset is his speed. I think his hands is just that left check hook is fucking
insane speed.
When you don't see it, man, that's always hurts more because you don't expect it, so you're not bracing for it.
But Jimmy, you know when you face a certain level of fighters, it comes down to IQ. And there's only one fighter in this fight that has a high boxing IQ. That's Tank Davis.
But that's also subjective. That's also vague and subjective, River. When you fight a certain level of fighter, when you fight a certain level, it doesn't take away from Ryan's speed. Anyways, Ryan's speed is Ryan's speed. What level are you
but you can
talking
only
about? That's
rely
kind
on
of vague?
IQ, man. The IQ, man. The power of the
The
IQ.
IQ is
It overpowers you.
pinpoint and make a statement that's like spot on, like exactly
Well,
what you mean by that.
Well, it
What do you mean
depends.
what I mean? You know what I mean when I say IQ. He
All
knows how
right.
to set traps.
Where
how to
was
set
the
up a counter.
IQ against
Like,
Isaac Cruz? Where was the IQ against Isaac Cruz?
His hand was hurt. Mucho was
he made him
different.
nasty. Right? It's called boxing.
He adapted, but let me tell you something. I didn't like his footwork. He like when Tank Davis tends to exit out, like when he like circling out, because he does circle out with the hooks and the right like check hook that he likes to throw. Bro, he crosses his legs and against Isaac Cruz he tripped. So
he asked for it work. What does Ryan Garcia have?
Well, actually, to be honest with you, man, Ryan Garcia, he don't got necessarily flashy footwork, but he has practical footwork where he doesn't take he pivots like extra long like Rigondeaux. Tank Davis, I'll send you a film study, bro, if you want me, because I don't go off of like just what I go off of like I don't like listen. The thing is that when Tank Davis he exits, like I was saying, he tends to exit on the front foot, and he has his head kind of like he doesn't really move his head when he's like making quick exit. He might move his head when he's like when the opponent's right in front of him and they're throwing punches and but after that he doesn't really do anything.
But look at Ryan. Does Ryan Garcia have defense? Does he know how to parry shots? Does he know how to block shots? Does he know how to? Does he have head movement? Does he know how to pivot?
What is that?
Does he know how to pivot? Does he know how to frame and pin on the inside? He can't do none of that shit. He's got a substandard skill set, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I don't see how Tank lose this fight. That's a lucky shot, maybe.
Well, here's the other side of that.
Don't think so, bro.
You're breaking
Ryan
up.
Garcia, he does. It's like the same thing with Tank. Like he does move his head or he does parry at first, but then after that, you know what I don't like about Ryan Garcia, and I think Tank Davis could capitalize off of this if Tank Davis does. Ryan Garcia, he may parry a shot or lean back like the first shot, but then after that, he tends to exit out like straight back. He doesn't necessarily move his head. Or I think that's the time when Tank Davis could catch him with the overhand.
Well, Tank's best approach would be I'd feint him and then sidestep. He's got to come in because of the front foot is flat. Hopefully Goosen fucking forgot more about this shit than I'll ever know. I mean, when it comes to training, but I'm sure he's worked on it with them. But it's going to be the angles that are going to give Garcia a hard time. And I'll tell you the problem I think he had with the Gnome with Isaac Cruz. He was too short. And that fucked up Tank. I bet you his whole career, there's about a handful of dudes he's ever fought, even his own height, never mind shorter than him. And when you're not used to that, when you've always fought dudes taller than you, it does make a difference. Plus, when you punch down, you lose power. And especially when your power punch, your best power punch is your uppercut, which is using your thighs and pushing through your back. And it's harder for a shorter dude, when you're fighting a shorter dude. So I think that combination, I think he just, had an off night and shit. But if fucking Garcia can use a jab and just keep him from trying to take angles on him and tries to make sure his attack is forward, coming directly at him, that's going to be the best chance Garcia has. He can't let him get to the sides of him and catch him with shots coming in from the side, because that's when coming close.
But Jimmy, you're asking him to do something that he doesn't have in his repertoire. He doesn't really have a great jab.
Well, it doesn't have to be a stinging jab. It just has to be a jab. A jab just has to knock the other guy off his, keep him at bay. You know what I mean?
And you got to pivot and maneuver as well, too, right? Pretty sure you're going to have to. Does he know how to do that?
Well, I haven't seen him pivot too much in the past, but it's because he hasn't had to fight that particular style. And again, I'm sure Goosen's working with them. This will be now their second fight together. So it all depends on how serious he's taking his camp and how much he's listening. And from what Steve Kim's had major talks with Goosen, and Goosen has said all the right things. Steve said whether it's an application is another thing, but Goosen said, to his surprise, because all you hear about, he was difficult over at Golden Boy and moody and blah, blah, blah. But Goosen said, Steve, this kid has been nothing but respectful. It's yes, sir, no, sir. He shows up on time every time. He fucking puts in the work. So Goosen says, I have no complaints with the kid. whether he's able to utilize what he's taught, that's the whole thing, right?
Has he shown any like skill set that Goosen didn't know he had previously, or something like that?
Well, Goosen said that he knew he would hit hard, but was shocked. He told Steve, like, Steve, I had no idea the kid hits that hard for his frame. Like, you wouldn't expect it. Like the Tommy Hearns type thing. You just don't look at his body and you don't think he can crack that hard. But he says that left hook he has, he said, is about as, for a fighter that weight, is about as hard as he's ever felt. So without a doubt, this will be the hardest punch that Tank's ever fought. It's just a matter of, will Tank be smart enough to stay out of his sweet spot and just stay at an angle and feint, because you want to, in a situation like that, you want to see what someone's going to do, feint him. Toss a feint out and make him bite at the feint. Then you're going to see what his response is to what you're doing coming forward. I'd slap a feint forward, come and then, step to the side while dragging out a left, just to see. I do all kinds of different probing things just to see how he reacts to them. And then you can set your traps from there.
If you're a one-trick pony, maybe you can get away with that shit in the heavyweight division like Wilder did for a while. But in these lower weight classes where the guys are way more skilled, I don't think that shit's gonna fly. If somebody takes away his left hook, what does he have left?
Yeah, this guy is not Deontay Wilder at all. And by the way, Dennis
he still has to be.
You're right. Yeah. Deontay Wilder would actually won a championship. So
against who?
I've seen Ryan Garcia. Yeah, I've seen Ryan Garcia.
Doesn't matter who it's against. At least he competed for a title.
We discussed this already. We discussed how the belts are piece of shit. By the way, Dennis said from Boston, thank you for your contribution. He says, if Joyce fighting Hrgovic instead of Zhang last year, who would be favorite? Remember Hrgovic Boogeyman back then? Great show. I guess he's saying Joyce would have fought Hrgovic last year. Who would have been favorite? Joyce. Yeah, Joyce. Guys,
man, I don't believe in Hrgovic like that. That's the only guy that people hyped up that I never believed in like that.
Same thing with Wilder.
No, but the thing about Hrgovic, I've seen him do like little subtle things. I'm gonna be honest. Lately I haven't been seeing much of him, but like when he first was coming up, like in 2019, even 2020, probably 2018. Like I would see, like he made little defensive moves to like not parry. Like he had unique style parry. If that make like when he would block people's up toe, but not by catching it or not by ducking, rolling it. He would like slide their hand like kind of like Canelo does. He would like I ain't gonna lie, I never seen nobody do that. And so like it's the ways that he would catch people coming in. Like, I was kind of impressed at first. I don't know how her goes these days, but
me personally, I just took one look at him. I'm like, he's an okay boxer, but that's about it. If AJ wasn't such a mental case, I would pick AJ to crush him.
Dude, Zhang.
No, Hrgovic.
Okay.
By the way,
so if Wilder fights this UFC challenge, is he ducking Andy Reese?
Absolutely, man. Yeah, that means
how much money they're paying.
It means he's out of boxing. By the way, Paper Tiger, thank you for your contribution. Paper Tiger says, I've got Ryan hurting Tank by tapping his high guard with his rear hand or his lead hand, waiting for him to open up and then turn his wrist over. All right.
Yeah, that's one way, I guess.
I guess.
Tank ain't that fucking stupid, man. Come on, dude. Like, be real.
I feel like people sleep on Tank's boxing IQ.
I think you're sleeping on Tank. Sorry,
because he loses like every fucking round until he gets a knockout.
I mean, Butch, I'm not sleeping on Ryan. He hasn't shown me anything for me to think that he's a high-level boxer.
But it's a 50-50 fight, in my opinion. But you're acting like it's a one-sided fight
against the multiple opponents.
On the skill level side, it is one-sided. But Ryan still has a chance because he's got the length, the reach, and he's probably got more power.
It takes to believe that they wouldn't put the catch weight and the rehydration.
Exactly, great point. Never sober.
We've already debunked that little dumbass,
bro. And then you had some goofy ass excuses.
If Tank was so confident, he would have been 140. I already fought at 140. I don't care. I'll kick your ass.
I can hear the excuses now, man.
You're not.
It was weight drain.
Makes sense. What I just said. Does it make sense, Rabbit?
Hey, Bucho,
does it make sense, Rabbit? Does it make sense?
140.
Does
Yeah,
it
all
makes
right.
sense.
If I was Garcia, I would have made the fight at 135. I would have said, fuck it, because he struggled. Tank struggled the last couple of times. Well, not the last one, but the 2 times before, it took him a couple of times to get to 135. So I think he's taking this training
Yeah,
camp
Jimmy,
serious, but I would have made it at 135. Fuck it.
When Garcia was fighting Fortuna, he said that he couldn't make 135, and that's why he was at 140 now.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I know,
Okay.
exactly.
I heard him say it live.
I don't know why he took that.
I want to see how much bullshit you guys are. Who do you think is the bigger man when they're not on fight night or when they're not fighting? Who weighs more?
Tank.
Okay, so if that's the case, and if they're both using the same stipulation, wouldn't that hurt Tank more?
Who asked for the stipulation? That's the point.
No, but I'm saying if they're both applying it to themselves, why shouldn't that hurt Tank more? If it's the bigger man.
Helps the person that asked for it, or else he wouldn't ask for it.
There's no.
If it didn't help, he wouldn't ask for it.
You just said Tank is weighs more, so he's the one cutting more weight.
I didn't say that.
Dude, be real, man. There's no fucking way Tank weighs more than Ryan. Like, just be honest. No fucking way.
But
stop bullshitting.
Both have to say.
I don't like that shit. Stop fucking lying or trolling. Be fucking real, man. Ryan's bigger than Tank. Stop fucking trolling. All right.
So what you're saying is Ryan is a weight bully.
I just told you that
Ryan
he can't do 135. That's why he went to 140 versus Fortuna. What the fuck you talking about, bro?
You fought Fortuna at 140, who's a 130 pounder.
No, Fortuna actually said he wanted to fight because he wasn't in shape. He said
Fortuna's a lazy piece of shit.
The point was that Ryan wasn't able to make 135. That's why he said he was moving up. That was over a year ago, bro. So you're telling me that it's not going to affect them to move to 136 and then only rehydrate only so much? Come on, man. It's only common sense.
I mean, again, nobody held Ryan Garcia's hand and forced him to take
he didn't, you would be bitching that he was running or that the fight wasn't winning.
No, I wouldn't, because there's many other people. He could have fought Devin Haney. He could have fought Devin Haney.
Come on, bro.
Devin Haney.
You know he could have fought Devin Haney.
Pretty much in the fight.
Why didn't he fight Devin Haney? Devin Haney's not going to put you on a stipulation.
But Devin Haney was in the negotiations for Loma.
Yeah, but I'm talking about way back before that.
Oh, way before that.
He has little mental issues or whatever.
I don't know why he didn't do that. It was that was the fight.
Even Jimmy admitted it. He ducked him. Plain and simple.
Well, Tank ducked Lomachenko. I mean, we gotta come to the present at some point. Like
nobody's trying to defend Tank.
How far do you gonna go back?
It was supposed to be Tank.
Well, what about him? What about this?
Well, that's what you're saying.
What
he
am I?
ducked him. So what about what happened a year ago? Like it doesn't matter.
I know you are, but what am I? That's what you sound like.
Haney didn't have a belt.
No, we're talking about now. We're talking about the Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia fight, and you're bringing up Ryan Garcia and Haney. Like why? And then I bring something else, and you're like,
if you're complaining about Tank putting you under stipulation, you always could have fought Devin Haney, but you didn't want to do that, did you?
How about playing fair? Is that too hard? Is that too much to ask, Rare? Is that in this world? Is that too much to ask? Like somebody that has the balls to step up.
The world's not a fair place. Boo-hoo-hoo.
All right, but there you have it. It's a jungle.
Yeah. Well,
it's a jungle out there.
As far as the stipulation, the weight stipulation on the rehydration clause, that's not so much. I mean, honestly, you'd be crazy to put more than like 13, 14 pounds, especially on that frame, because your body gets used to it. Like Gonzalo, my boy, he's lost all kinds of weight lately. If suddenly overnight he was to put on 15 pounds, 20 pounds, he'd feel it. And a lot of times what happens, you might feel good until you go to get your second wind and it's not there. And that's a sucky fucking feeling, not being able to get your second wind, once you sweat out that first one. So, yeah, and sometimes these guys blow up too much. Like, I think that's what caused, that's what hurt fucking against Gennady, who I think he fought the best fight of his life that night. The cancer survivor, Jacobs.
Danny Jacobs.
Yeah, he came in too heavy. And you could see by the end of the fight, his legs, you could see it in his legs. Because you get used to training for 8 weeks, 12 weeks, and you're losing weight, and all of a sudden overnight you put on, like, think about 20 pounds.
Oh, so Jimmy, so Jimmy, you're saying that this 10-pound rehydration clause is actually okay, right?
Well, I think a rehydration clause should be, because the day before weigh-in, I think it should be the day of. I can't say I've hated it since the day they announced it in the 80s. I'm like, that's stupid. People are going to abuse it. Remember, they did this to save lives because they were worried about too many guys making themselves skinny. But the thing is, now they're manipulating it even more. You got guys coming on that scale have to be fucking helped to the scale, literally have to be helped up off their chair.
Or they pass out. Remember?
They pass out, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Because
but you can rehydrate to as much as you want afterwards when you're done. Right.
Well, you can. Well, you can, but you don't want to do it during the day. That day, anyways, you want to do it while you're sleeping. The only time your body actually puts on muscle, grows muscle, is during REM sleep. So, I mean, ideally, you would wake them up every like 2.5 hours, have them fucking out, have them slug down a fucking jar of plain raw fruit. Just eat it, son. Grab a spoon, go back to sleep. You'd literally watch his veins swell while he's sleeping. Just all the fucking carbs would be going right into his muscles. Because if he puts it on right that same day, so after you go on the scales, I'm going to go get a cheesesteak. You're going to be paying for that shit.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
Well, I like to bring up something. I'm just so disappointed because I've been so high on this kid, and I've always talked high of his abilities, but the way he's moving lately, the things he's saying, the fucking name association or promotion by name association is just, he wasn't doing that before, and I'm just really disappointed in Boots. Ennis, man, I'm just really disappointed the way he's rolled lately. First, he's fucking, publicly making comments about, Terrence Crawford could have offered me a fight. How come he didn't offer me a fight? And then his own father fucking blows his spot up by going on and saying, oh, yeah, well, they offered us a fight, Black Prime, and we turned it down. It's like, wait a minute, dude. So, that was what, March 30, that came out, or March 6th was the last time he said he didn't call him out, was March 3rd. And then now he's saying that he shouldn't be a fucking opening act anymore. He deserves the headline. I'm like, off what, dude? 4 minutes in 2022? 4 minutes in 2021, and then fucking fighting the 59th ranked Karen or 29th ranked Karen, and now you think you deserve a fucking headline? Come on.
That I agree with you.
Said.
I agree with you there on that one, Jimmy. He needs to keep co-main evading because his name is not big enough to become like the main guy yet. Unless you're fighting like Keith Thurman, then it's okay.
Yeah, he needs that. See, that's the fight he needs. He needs to be the dude who knocks out Keith Thurman. That would it should put him in that next lane. But I'm just disappointed that he was saying that shit.
Keith Thurman will never let that happen. He will never.
But of course he wouldn't. Oh, of course not. Of course, Thurman ain't gonna fight him. No fucking way.
Jimmy, if Boots was like a Devin Haney type of fighter, maybe it'd be a little bit easier because it's one thing to get embarrassed and outboxed by somebody. It's another thing for a guy that could potentially like really end your career. Like a Triple G type of guy. That's Boots in it.
But here's the problem now with Boots, man. Because of his style, any style isn't conducive for once a year fighting. Never mind 4 minutes in a calendar year, and then fighting down. Listen, the reason why he looked so shitty against that guy Karen, how could he have taken him serious? You'd know he went into camp not taking it. How could you get yourself up for that fight? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and you know what I mean? So and then you just listen, the way I look at it this way, back in the day, there was guys, man, they'd fight on HBO. 6 weeks later, I'd see them down in fucking Atlantic City. Like I'm there to watch a Mickey fight in the next hotel. This the dude fighting was on HBO last. I'm like, this is off television. They're just taking fights for chump money because they know they need to get the fights in. Fighting, you gotta, like any sport, you gotta do it a lot to stay sharp.
Stanionis is available.
But that's the fight they should do. Steve Kim said that fighters nowadays they never go back financially. They're not going to go back. They never go back. They never go back financially.
Platt did. He made $10 million versus Canelo, and I'm sure he did not make the same for Benavidez.
Not even close.
Hey, Jimmy, but I understand you're making of fighters need a fight option to stay sharp, but then you got outliers too. Like for example, Joe Calzaghe said that he wouldn't even spar like the last 5 years of his career, and I don't know how.
Because sparring's overrated.
That's muscle memory already.
In a lot of cases. Exactly. I would much rather have my fighter fighting in fights than sparring, and a lot of what happens in sparring too. People end up with sparring partners that they become friends with, and they never fight the same. Like my grandfather wouldn't let any of us spar, like any of the cousins spar each other. You guys aren't sparring each other. No, you're cousins because you're not trying to fucking work right. And he was right to do
You mean
that.
trying
Like,
to kill each other?
Yeah, not so, but you're just not going to punch your own brother in the face the same way you're going to punch a stranger. So he would always try to, like, he'd call up the Somerville Boys Club or Romalo's gym and try to set something up for that Saturday. Hey, these are the guys I got. Can you bring some guys down? We'd always take road trips and we'd do sparring on Saturdays. We'd go to different gyms, spar strangers. That's, you know what I mean? The best sparring you're going to get. You don't know nothing about that dude. But, you know, and sparring can be overrated. So many guys, it's like practicing, man. I played hockey, and there was a couple of kids I've played hockey with over my life, man, who are unbelievable practice players. Just fucking unbelievable. They just never reproduce that shit in the game because it's a different thing. It's just a different thing when there's thousands of people watching you.
Speaking of sparring, do you guys know who Jahai Tucker is?
No. Yeah, I heard of him.
Yeah, he's that kid on Top Rank. He fought that Georgian.
Yeah.
Okay. But apparently,
him and Zayas are a good fight. Him and Zayas
that is a good fight. Yeah, apparently him and his dad, they were on that show, Boxing. What's it called? You know what that? Those two dudes.
Boxing Voice.
You know. Yeah, Boxing Voice. Yeah, they were basically implying that Boots was ducking like sparring with them or whatever. They never got a call back. But apparently they had the wrong number. So they heard that interview, and that very day they called in for sparring. Apparently, Boots beat the shit out of him, but they say he's got a lot of heart, and I believe that because if you watch that fight that Jahai Tucker just recently had, you can see he does have a lot of heart. So, but
Boots is a great fighter. I was able to watch him in the undercard of Charlo Castaño too. It didn't last long. I think it was like a second round knockout. But that's the point, or that's kind of the problem. If you keep knocking people out within a minute or two, you're not gaining that experience. And especially if you're not going, if you're not fighting 2-3 times a year, you know, so it does take away a little bit because, you know, practice does make perfect. You got to be in repetition to, you know, continue to be sharp. So having all these layoffs out of good competition, you know, it can affect them in the long run, you know, especially in a sport where, you know, one punch can make the difference. You know, he has to continue to fight top competition to keep his skills sharp for any of the top contenders. But with that being said, has anybody heard from Virgil Ortiz and his condition and what's going on with him?
No.
I think they're gonna not postpone. I think they're gonna find Staniel's got to find another opponent.
Yeah, this time he's got an opponent. He's not. Yeah, it's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a while.
I mean, when's the last time that dude's even fought? Stanionis. I mean, it's been well over a year, hasn't it?
Find the undercard for
crazy.
I mean, he should be out for longer, to be honest, because of the
he had a surgery not too long ago, about two months.
Appendix surgery. Yeah, he needs to take a little bit of time off, man. He gets hit even a little low, man.
And Virgil's a ferocious body picture.
Bro, I had the appendix surgery before when I was like 12 years old, bro. That shit hurts, bro. I was like, honestly, bro, I broke my femur before, like my femur bone before, like the largest leg in your body. Honestly, that shit don't hurt, but the appendix was the worst pain I ever felt in my life. Like, yo, that shit.
Did you have an infection after? Did you end up with an infection or something after?
No, I'm talking about like leading up.
Oh, you did a rupture?
No, but I think it was about to rupture.
Yeah, that's extremely painful, wicked painful. That's how your body knows it's time to get rid of it. A full rupture is brutal because it's just acid gets poured into your belly.
Yeah. I didn't even know like what the purpose of the appendix was until recently. They say that back in the old, like, you know, when we're like I guess living, like, we weren't really like, you know, we didn't have technology. We didn't eat the foods that we eat now. Like the appendix, so people back then, they would probably like eat like for example, tree bark, you know, like tree bark, and so like they needed their appendix back then because they would eat like things that, you know, anything basically, you know.
Yeah,
and we eat tree bark nowadays, so like we don't need it, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
shit. People are eating all types of stuff nowadays. People eating insects and shit.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
We need it.
That's so fucking gross.
We might need it.
We need it when we eat McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, exactly. They actually add that into for protein value.
Damn.
Errol Steven says when we used to be monkeys.
Well, if you think about it, shrimp is delicious. I love shrimp. I love seafood. Seafood like crabs and shrimp. I love seafood. Even like Alaskan king crab. That shit's fucking like $60 a pound right now. But that shit's great. But all that's just insects of the sea. You know what I mean? Underwater insects. But there's something about fucking. Yeah, exactly. Something about grabbing a fucking. But you know what though? In Africa, man, they do it too, and the kids they go bananas for it because it tastes like fucking
Well, it depends.
They lift it, they pull up a bark, and these big fucking pubics. They're huge. They're in the maggot the stage. That's not a correct way to call it, but the larva stage.
Are you talking about like in the Lion King?
Yeah, well, and they eat them, and the kids go nuts. They cook them on either raw. They just pull the head off.
It's full of proteins, man.
Yeah,
but
it's full of protein, and I guess it tastes. But it's supposed to taste just like cotton candy. Literally, Americans who have tried it, like, my God, this does taste like cotton candy. It's got a sweet thing.
Oh wow!
So you're saying African kids love eating larvae?
Well, it's a certain one. Is underneath the bark is a certain beetle, and it's huge. It's a big larva. Like they collect them for they go in and
slimy. Yeah, it's satisfying.
Well, it can be gooey or whatever, but a lot of them they cook them. They put them on like marshmallows, like we put on sticks. They put these bugs on sticks and they cook them. I mean, they also climb trees. I've seen, little motherfucking kids climb up in trees, go way up there for honey, man. Because that's think about it, kids. We have fucking Kit Kat bars. They want sweets. They got to go up and they got Africanized bees. So they go up there with some smoke, and they pull it up with a rope and shit, and they smoke the bees out. That's crazy shit, man.
All right, let's get back to boxing because people are going to start complaining.
Yeah. I was about to say, Rare Break, thoughts?
Yeah.
No comment.
I'm waiting for to have a fight. Castano, he's been out the ring for a minute too.
Bro, he took a beating in that Charlo fight.
Well,
there's a lot of PBC fighters that have been sitting on the shelf lately, bro. Castaño's one of them.
Man, he took a lot of punishment in that fight. I don't blame him.
They don't have money to make fights.
They don't have TV spots. I heard about that when I was talking to Ring IQ. He said when Chris, what's that dude's name? Chris Eubanks was on PBC and he left and he came out and he said that they didn't really have the money that I was looking for. So he dipped out and went back to England to make those domestic level fights that people were coming to see.
Well, Showtime's being folded into an app, into the Paramount app, and they're still not. The reason why during the press release they never mentioned boxing about the programming they were bringing over to the app. But what it is, I've supposedly given Steven Espinoza a mandate that he's to try to make some popular fights. That's why suddenly they're trying to make the fucking Crawford Spence fight because they need fight what does numbers. But here's the thing: his budget is no longer there. They used to give him supposedly a $50 million a year budget for combat sports, but they lost half of that right off the top when they signed to Bellator, and that was a reaction of Al Hammond keeps sending all his big fights to Fox when that was going on. That's the reason why Espinoza did that. So there's a question of no fight dates and no money. Because remember, Al Hammond and the PBC are not a promotional company. He's an advisor. He doesn't put money out of his own pocket.
So when is the PBC going to die?
I don't know. We gotta wait and see. I'm not exactly rooting for their failure. I'm just interested.
Some people are.
Why wouldn't you be? Why wouldn't you be?
I am.
We know you are.
Why? Because I'm a racist.
I've mentioned it's a supply and demand issue. There's too many fucking promotions, and there's not there in order to fucking secure the services of a fighter, you have to overpay them, like Top Rank did to keep Crawford, and that just fucking ruins your possibility to fucking get fights. And there's too many fighters across the boxing landscape, too many promotions. It has to cut down. It has to cut down to maybe 3 tops, and PBC is not one of them. The PBC.
I'd rather watch PBC cards than the Zone match room. That's for damn sure.
I never watched his own cards. Not anymore.
Fucking trash.
But even though
But
I did, but that they did have.
But
some
the
good-
Zone
they-
actually
they
has
have-
money. So
Yeah, they have money, but they fill the card up with too many English fighters.
and it's hard to promote. It's hard to promote on PBC because they're putting everything through a paywall. So how the fuck are you supposed to grow a pay-per-view fighter or a fighter that's supposed to carry the sport?
I mean,
when
you
you
guys do that, but the Zone is charging you for pay-per-view nowadays too. Are they not?
Oh, they're putting Canelo on a paywall, but Canelo's Canelo. It's not the same.
But no, I'm talking about even the yearly. They up the price on the yearly and the monthly, I believe.
Yeah, but it's not the same. They're for fucking PBC.
This
They'll
shit adds
put fucking people on pay-per-view that don't even belong. Not even.
They do.
Not even
They do
close,
put
bro.
guys on pay per view that don't.
How
belong
much?
there.
How much do you pay a month for the Zone?
I pay the yearly subscription.
Okay. Well,
How much is that?
What is that?
200 something, I
100,
believe now?
it's
Well, they
$199 now.
$199.
Yeah, it's fucking
divided by
retarded.
12. You're paying $16 a month. 17.
That's what you pay. That's what I'm paying for Showtime right now. But they still put everything behind a paywall. So yeah,
I think Showtime
my
like
thing is this.
$2.99.
No, 69. Well, I don't know. It could be different. Depends on your package. I just know when I got it, that's what it cost. It was one of those things down to was itemized, and that's what it cost for that. My thing with PBC is, what have they done? What has he done with the PBC? I mean, he had $750 million and 247 fighters in contracts with every major network. And what do we get from it? Besides lawsuits from Waddell and Reed. He couldn't even match his top guys in his own promotion. It took 2.5 years before he finally made fucking Thurman against Garcia, and because they waited so long in between fights, it ended up being a sloppy boo fest. You know what I mean? My thing is this, the PBC, I just say, okay, you want to be a PBC fan? Tell me what they're doing to make you want them to stay. All I see is isolation, putting stagnating careers and putting everything behind a paywall. And it's an aging stable. They're not getting any new blood. Yeah. All you have to do is look at Top Rank. You see their card? Look at all the young African-American fighters right now signed with Top Rank, not with the PBC, including the kid who signed with Kid Austin, who signed with Golden Boy. His father came right out and said, it's crazy. The PBC contract was like a fucking, it was ridiculous, man. I wouldn't even have had agency my own name. My son wouldn't even have control of his own name. And they wanted it for like 10 years. So it's music contracts. He basically just took music contracts and changed it. And every one of them has an NDA in them. So that's why he bailed. So you look at where's the Jaron Ennis's? Where's the Kid Austins? You know what I mean? Frank Martin, and that was kind of the only thing you could say he got. I don't know if that was, we'll see how that works out.
There's another one. His name is Ashton Sylvie. He's special. You'll see very soon.
Well, I haven't seen him yet. So, but
how much he's under Jake Paul. But Ashton Silva, he's with Showtime. He's very, very good.
But Frank Martin shouldn't be leading his own cards. He's not well known enough. He should be under Errol Spence, but Errol Spence don't fight nowhere near enough.
Yeah. Plus, Frank is not really a prospect. He's like 26.
I would like to see Davis versus Frank Martin. That would be a great matchup.
Yeah, it would be a great matchup.
Hey, how much does ESPN Plus charge?
$99 a year.
Oh,
free if you have TV.
That's for everything. That's for a whole bunch of sports. It's not just boxing.
Yeah, no, it is. It's great. I get the NHL. You can watch the next day whatever game was on the night before. All of them on demand. Every NHL game. So that's awesome for me.
Just look for a good IPTV. You'll get everything for free or $8.
Yeah.
And plus, they get the UFC fight card, with ESPN too.
Yep.
So the ESPN one for me is actually worth it. I utilize that a lot. The DAZN, I don't. They have one humongous fight. They'll have the Bam Rodriguez, maybe the fucking Chocolatito, and then a bunch of domestic level English trash. No offense to my boys from England. I'm just saying the level of fight. It just, It is what it
Thank
is.
you.
They got to do
I try to say
something.
that all the time, but they call me a hater. I'm just saying, bro. The level of boxing over there is not the same.
No, but you call all the. Okay, come on, Ray. Don't be disingenuous.
I don't say all of them. There's some good British fighters like Josh
The
Taylor.
cards are so long, and
Tyson
the
Fury.
majority of them are full with guys that you don't care about or just not.
Yeah, man. That's why they come here to prove themselves. It's a reason.
Hey, has anybody heard of what's his name? Hopi Price. I seen him a couple years ago. He actually
I
looked pretty.
heard about him, but I've never watched him yet.
Opie Price. Hopey.
Yeah, Hopi. Yeah, well, they say he was a 7-time national champion when he was a youth. I don't know if he went to the Olympics or whatever, but I ain't gonna lie. But that was back then. He looked pretty good, but then again, it was a bum. But just like Lomachenko, like when he fought when he first debuted, like he wasn't necessarily fighting good competition, but he was making dudes look really, really bad. I ain't gonna lie. Hopi Price is kind of like that, but who's
from the UK?
Yeah, from the UK. Like I ain't gonna lie, he probably one of the only ones from the UK that I actually kind of like. But
I thought that there was this guy from Scotland that everybody thought was going to be good. What's his name? His name's Josh Kelly. They thought he was going to be the next thing.
Oh, actually, he's from England, I believe.
Yeah,
he's British.
Mid fighter, but I mean, he's okay to a certain degree.
He's got a lot of flashy skills, but like there was no real, like behind it fundamental. But
yeah,
he was a nice little fighter.
Yeah.
Another kid, Dennis McCann. He's another prospect from the UK. I watched him. He's not that good.
I like the one I like from the UK is that his last name is Ball. His last name is Ball. I forgot what his first name. But his last name is Ball.
What about Adam Azim? Do y'all know who that is?
I heard he's a lightweight. I haven't seen him a lot though.
Talk about Nick Ball. You're talking about Nick Ball, the featherweight that knocked out Isaac Lowe.
Nick Ball from featherweight. Nick Ball, I like him.
Yeah, he's a real good fighter.
Does anybody know what went on between Frank Martin and Keyshawn Davis? Why does he got Keyshawn so fucking bullshit? Because Keyshawn fights at 140, if I'm not mistaken, right?
No,
Martin's at 135. He's Keyshawn
He's
is
135.
Oh,
yeah. Keyshawn wants to fight him, and so does Frank Martin. They want to fight each other.
Yeah, that would be an amazing fight. I'd go to that for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, imagine that fight on the Spence Crawford undercard.
Well, that would be ideal.
Imagine that Spence Crawford fight happening, bro. Imagine still talking about that shit.
Hey, man.
Yeah,
bro. They are really trying to make. I guess they're really trying to make it right now, like the hottest thing, because they know. Because what happened was, remember they even announced the Thurman fight. They backed off it for two reasons. Thurman was the first to back out when he heard about the money. So most likely Thurman's going to retire. I'd be surprised if he doesn't, which he's kind of already retired now. But when these are the guys who are getting $3 million to fight in the fucking Rob Zelkas of the world. And so what happened when the restructuring at Showtime happened, when they approached no guarantees, was everything off the back end of a pay-per-view and told $1 million each, and then you can make up to 5 or 3 or whatever it be if you hit 500,000. They both knew what was going to happen. Plus, when they saw how bad they were getting killed on social media when they announced that fight. So for those reasons, they peeled back on the Thurman fight because they even announced that some of their show media. And because of that, now Earl knows he has to fight him. If he either has to give up his belts at 147 and go to 154, which I'd be surprised if he did. Honestly, he's made enough money. I've heard he doesn't fuck around. He's got a nice house and it's, he's married, he's got his kids and he's happy. So I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't retire soon too, if he doesn't fight Keith. But Crawford.
Spence has already said multiple times he's not interested in Keith Thurman. The only thing he's interested is undisputed. And if I remember correctly, he did say that he would go to 154 if he didn't get that fight.
Yeah, well, they were going to fight Thurman at 154. Remember, the WBC even said when asked directly, because the whole reason they were making the Thurman fight because Spence called Espinoza. And one of the two was most likely Errol. I don't see why Steven would have done it, but they were both in on it. That whole that phone call where I told Al I ain't fighting Thurman, and next you know, within a month announcing the Thurman fight, that was done to make it look like Spence didn't want to do it. This isn't what he wanted to do. It's being mandated because it was literally right after he said, I don't want to fight Thurman. I told Al, I ain't fighting no Keith Thurman. And then next thing WBC mandates him, says he's your mandatory. And so that's, Spence said, well, I'll go to 154. Let's do it at 154. And then the WBC was still going to fucking mandate it, like, well, the belts are not on the line. Well, if the belt's not on the line, how can you count it as a mandate? You know what I mean? It's not a mandated fight unless the belts are on the line. So that was all poo-pooed down, but yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised. Like last year at any time, I was, everybody's like, oh, dude, you're so negative. I said, the fight ain't happening this year. It is not going to happen. I just knew it wasn't going to happen. Now I'm more optimistic about it happening. Am I excited about it? Fuck no, that fight should have happened 4 years ago. It is what it is.
The fighters have a part to blame. The promotional companies have a part to blame. But the sanctioning bodies as well. Any one of the four could mandate, the undisputed, and nobody does. They'll bring in number one contender Keith Thurman. Like, come on, like they have to take responsibility too for these fights not happening. It's a mixture of all three of those that makes or breaks the actual fights.
And that's how we got the
bodies are getting paid by the promotion. So. Just look at it as a promotion.
Jimmy, once that fight's like a week away from happening, I bet you're gonna be like, you know what? I'm actually excited for this fight. Just watch. Okay.
Because I'm a boxing fan, but I'm just nowhere near as excited as because honestly, I would have always picked Crawford. Now I pick Crawford to work him.
Okay.
That's just my opinion.
I don't even think it's that intelligent to put it that close to behind all these pay-per-views. It's like behind all of them. I would extend it maybe.
Not with the economy, especially.
Errol Spence knocks out Terrence Crawford.
Whatever David Benavidez sold, whatever Canelo's going to sell, whatever fucking Haney and Lomachenko are going to sell. And I'm like, oh, bro, well, how much money you're going to be asking from boxing fans? It's a shitload of money.
It's hitting people over the head.
Well, first of all, Crawford is getting older. Spence, say what you want about him. He is I think he's a silver medalist in the Olympics.
Yeah, Spence when he fought. All these guys were at their best on the way up. When he fought the Saturday afternoon coming off the Olympics, he looked the best. And then following that fight, he went to England and beat Brook. That was when he was fighting almost 3 times a year. But boom, once you reach that certain status, go to once a year, and then the drinking, the car accident, the inactivity, and Crawford
he looked great against Ugas.
Yeah, that Ugas didn't. Something was off with that fight. I'm not saying it was thrown or anything like that. Ugas didn't look right. And I didn't like the way, because Ugas is not a power puncher, and he hurt fucking Spence on a couple of occasions. And if Ugas is hurting you, Crawford is a finisher. He finishes everybody. And whereas Spence isn't that power puncher anymore. He doesn't fight enough to turn his punches over the way he used to. I mean, dude, he went up against a career super featherweight. Yeah, he's going to beat you down, but he couldn't even stop Mickey Garcia.
Yeah, but
Mickey came to survive. I'm going to be honest with you.
Spence is going to stop Terrence Crawford, and you know it.
No, I don't know it.
The thing about
when's the last time Crawford's been stopped?
Never been stopped.
He has been
even been rocked.
He's probably been rocked, but he's never been.
The last time was Igis.
Igis.
Like about 4 years.
Who's also a crazy power puncher. One of the strongest at 140.
Let's ask the person who's fought both of them, Sean Porter. I believe he said that Earl Spence hits harder.
No. After the fight, he said it was Crawford hit harder. He might have changed his tune now. I don't know. But I know he couldn't have been happy with the PBC because that fight was mandated. It was so funny. Ego put out a video saying that, it was Crawford didn't want no part of it, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, that same day, Porter goes on the podcast and saying, I had no idea this was even happening. Because he made a video saying it was Porter who approached the fucking sanctioned bodies demanding the fight. And then Porter goes live and says, I had no idea this was even coming down. But because he went against Al Heyman, and he said, I want to make this fight. I was like, no, man, we don't do cross promotion, and we don't do them with Top Rank, that's for sure. And that's why on that fight, if you go back and watch that, the PBC was never mentioned. There was no signs for the PBC. Never thanked Al Heyman. Al Heyman didn't even put a bid in. That's why they didn't have to put a bid in. He was supposed to go to first bid, but he just let him hang out there to dry. I think that had a lot to do with why he retired. He realized it was like, wow, okay, man. Because I wanted to actually make a fight. That's why I miss Sean Porter. The dude was willing to fight people.
I forgot those
two
guys exist. I'm going to be honest. We're talking about all these boxers, and I forgot Crawford and Spence are even there. It's weird.
Crazy.
You know what I think the worst thing Spence did was switch strength and conditioning coaches, because his old strength and conditioning coach, when he was with them all those years, he was stopping guys. He was pretty much knocking out damn near everyone, if not everyone. And then I believe right before the Mikey Garcia fight, he switched strength and conditioning coaches. And ever since then, you see the results. He hasn't been knocking dudes out like that.
Yeah, say all of them, right? From the PBC, all the welterweights, once they hit that certain level. I don't know if it's because when you hit a certain level, that's also when VADA gets involved. But next thing you know, none of them were knocking anybody out anymore. It was all going to the distance. It was funny, too, because a lot of Spence fans were saying, he didn't try to knock him out, man. He was doing that on purpose. He wanted to show everybody how he could box, right? That was the thing going around Twitter. Literally, right as the fight ended, a bunch of people threw that out. And then at the press conference, yeah, I tried to knock him out. Yeah, I tried to stop him. A fourth, I think, against the seventh, but, no man down tonight. It was so funny because so many dudes were like swearing he didn't stop him because he didn't try to.
There was a lot of variables in that fight. I'm gonna be honest with you, but what I will say about Earl Spence is I think he has the best inside game in all of boxing.
I don't know about that. I used to think that, but then I saw Beterbiev, and I'm like, I don't know.
Beterbiev.
Beterbiev actually does.
Yeah,
bro.
Benavidez has a really good inside game, I would say, man. He's
He
really
does,
good.
but he doesn't really. Who actually goes to fight Beterbiev in the pocket? Anyways, not many people. Most guys try to keep him outside.
Exactly, but he does get when he gets them on the ropes. He does work.
But that's not really inside fighting. To me, inside fighting is what you saw with Fulton and Figueroa. That's inside fighting.
Are you
that's
you speaking of toe to toe, or are you just saying?
Like, for example, when you're on the inside and you're like, like moving and nudging to get space in order to get your shots off, that's inside fighting. Like leveraging, pinning, and framing. That's inside fighting.
Well, yeah, when it comes to pinning, that's what I mean. But Serbia, if he does it,
controlling guards and shit like that, that's inside fighting.
Yeah, they do it.
Kind of like what I do. Kind of like James Toney technique. When you bump
I'm
off with
disappointed
your
at
shoulder.
Benavidez, man. I don't know if it's him or his people not making the Bivell fight.
That's another one.
It's probably Top Rank, most likely.
I mean, what do you want him to do? Eddie Hearn is out here saying that, we're going to mandate after he beats what's his name, the British guy.
Eddie Hearn really threw the wrench in that because Callum got injured and he was like, "Oh, we're going to mandate that fight. We're going to mandate." I thought you said we're going to look for the undisputed fight. Look, Eddie Hearn's looking out for his own interests. He wants all the belts on his side. That's just what it is.
Well, because Bob Arum a few months back shit on the fight, just poo-pooed on it, said, he just wasn't interested at the time. The thing is, you guys are almost 40 years old, and he's a devastating power puncher, and he all kinds of stories, too, about fucking how hard he hits, man. A couple of dudes, talked about sparring him and saying it's just you don't expect it. Like, he just whips through sparring partners.
But after he beat Canelo, they were a little bit more open to it. I heard Bob say, "Okay, we're a little bit more open to it now." But they tried to. Callum got injured right before his fight with a tune-up because that's all he's been fighting, tune-ups at 175, and he gets to go fight Beterbiev for his WBC belt. And Callum's is a good fighter. I won't lie, he is a good fighter. But once you put it on him, he starts to fold. I saw it against Ryder, and I think that Beterbiev is at least
it's not about Smith. The only reason Smith is going right there is because they want to see if Canelo would do good versus Benavidez. If Smith looks good and impressive, then they'll say, okay, Canelo could actually beat this guy. So that's the way I see it. Like his first opposition at 175, I forgot his name, but he had been through, you know, a lot of fights, and he was the first one to stop him, you know. So it's not like they're all bums either, you know.
What do you mean? The guy that Canelo knocked out at 75?
No, Smith.
Oh, yeah. No,
Bro,
Canelo did not stop Smith either.
Honestly,
Smith's first opponent at 175, he had never been knocked out, and I think he had like Joe Smith and some other people too, you know?
Yeah, he fought Bivol, but Bivol could have stopped him.
But he didn't.
But he didn't. Yeah.
And Smith did.
I'd rather see Callum Smith fight Bivol, because I think it's a bad matchup with him and Better Beef. I think Better Beef will bust him up real quick.
Yeah, because
I'd rather Callum box with Bivol, because Callum's actually a pretty good
straight puncher. But once you start getting
from Matchroom's perspective, why would you want that fight though? You know, you're just fucking taking out two of your guys when you could just have two guys fight Beterbiev and see if one of them wins.
Get the belts,
with that, you know, I'd rather that at the end of the day, but you know, I'm just saying.
But Callum, he folds when you really take it to him. Ryder took it to him. Canelo took it to him, and you know, and Beterbiev, that's what he does best. This guy's gonna fold unless like this guy just gets old.
I don't know about the Ryder one, but against Canelo, he wasn't throwing back necessarily, because I mean he did have a fucked up arm. I ain't gonna lie to you. He couldn't really swing.
No, Canelo fucked up his arm. He was throwing those punches on his arm, and that's because he kept on going into his high guard. He couldn't control the distance as well as Bivol. Bivol allowed it, but even Bivol was on the ropes at times, but he could control it way better than Callum.
Yeah, because every time Bivol felt the punch on his arms, he would immediately make Canelo pay. You know, by you know, jab, you know, on Canelo's face. You know, but shit.
But Callum just kept on shelling up.
Yeah, Callum would just pivot and just hope to catch Canelo like
he doesn't have the hand speed either that Bivol has to connect like that. So
yeah, I mean he do got a left hook too. Callum Smith does. You know,
yeah, he does.
He's looked pretty good since he lost to Canelo. I'd say that.
Yeah, but I was really hoping to see him in there with someone, you know, that I know, you know, like a Gilberto, anybody, Joshua Boazzi, something like that.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people shit on it. The Ryder fight with Canelo. I think it sucks. It's behind the paywall. I'm really pissed about that. Like really pissed about it. But listen, that fight has all the making. Ryder only knows one way. That's forward. He's gonna come at you. He's gonna force Canelo to have to knock him out to win. Like, you know what I mean? To get him off him. So it'll be a good lipness test to see where Canelo is if his hand's completely healed.
You know what? If Ryder's strong, remember that Kirkland-Canelo fight where Kirkland did push back Canelo for about a good minute, 2 minutes. It was pretty entertaining. So if Ryder's really that strong, he could have pushed Canelo back for a bit, but I got Canelo by knockout.
Yeah, me too. I would think that's the only way. I think he'd kind of have to stop because Ryder comes forward. So it's the making of a good fight. I just wish he wasn't behind a paywall. You know?
Yeah.
In regards to Canelo fighting Benavidez, if Canelo sends an offer to Benavidez to fight on his own, and obviously Benavidez rejects it or he's not out, whose fault is that? Is that Canelo's fault or is that David Benavidez's fault?
It'll be David, bro. He knows what he signed up for when he fucking agreed with PBC.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's why is it? Why all of a sudden does Canelo have to go to the PBC to fight?
Because by the time that happens, look, after the Ryder fight, his no contract is up.
Fucking rob him because
Canelo doesn't have a contract.
Canelo doesn't have a
contract.
They didn't rob him against Plant. So now what?
DAZN guarantees Canelo money. He gets his money guaranteed. It's not off the back end of pay-per-view. He knows exactly what he's making.
Is he low? Is he for the cash?
No, but it's a huge thing, especially when you're the only one. Let me finish. Yeah. By putting him
How
in
many
a kid who
times
just pulled. You got to let me fucking finish a sentence? When you're fighting a kid who just pulled 49,000, 47,000 pay-per-views, that tells him one thing. This pay-per-view is completely off my shoulders. So basically, I'm taking my money and divvying it up. And if it's all off guaranteed, if it's all off the back end, it has to do at least $500,000, 500,000 in sales before he starts seeing any fucking real money. With the zone, it's guaranteed money.
Do PBC have a history of just completely ripping off fighters?
Well, according to some of their fighters lately, yeah.
What type of question is that?
I don't know. Like, you're making the claim. To me, it looks like the excuses have started.
The excuses,
We're making
nothing.
the excuses.
Not excuses.
Canelo's making the obstacle. That's what's happening.
What's the obstacle? The obstacle was this. Benavidez just came out and said, Benavidez already said he's not going to the zone, and I don't know what the fucking problem is because I just watched him. I just watched him. Fucking his biggest opponent at the end of that fight was fucking Kenny Bayless. You had a kid who couldn't even fucking barely stand up and play for 5 months. For 5 months, and he couldn't put him away.
Can go to the PBC like he did with Caleb Plant. No issue.
Well, no, because it was guaranteed money. They guaranteed him $40 million, regardless of how many it sold.
Well, they'll guarantee him again. Don't worry about that.
No, they won't. No, they won't. They didn't even guarantee Tank. They didn't even guarantee Crawford and Spence, and that came from Spence's own tweet. What are you talking about? I didn't get any guarantee money. They're not guaranteeing money anymore.
You know what they're going to do already in advance. You already know what
because there's who's going to guarantee it? Showtime has no budget. Al Hammond doesn't put up any money.
Well, when you're fighting with a cash cow, you know that's going to be a huge pay-per-view. That's guaranteed.
It should
It'll
be.
be a guaranteed huge pay-per-view. So I don't think money's going to be.
But what is it? But if it's guaranteed money at the zone.
Can I talk? Because you don't let me talk 1 sentence.
Oh no, you come on here, dude. You're going to stop the same bullshit that you do all the time.
And
Benavidez isn't that guy. Well. Okay, but then he ain't that guy.
So you going to let me talk?
Okay, tell us how great Benavidez is.
Zip it.
Okay, all right, all right. Is Ring Radio on anymore?
So, what was I saying? So, it's going to be a guaranteed big money fight. So, money's not going to be a problem. But, like I said, we've started the games. We've started the games now to have an excuse to make the duck. That's what I'm seeing. That's my opinion.
Nah, man. It's not the A-side's responsibility to fucking go to promotions that he doesn't want to feel comfortable in or go on promotions that have the incentive to rob that fighter. The PBC has the incentive to do whatever they could do possible to rob Canelo, bro, and make Benavidez win on anything.
Stop making out like this is the biggest. Name a bigger fight for Canelo than Benavidez.
There isn't none at all.
Well, one is big.
But Benavidez is not selling that fight, dude. It's all Canelo.
Canelo in 2 years, man. Come
it's all
on.
Canelo.
I'm just saying, what's the difference
you want to
between
fight
Canelo or Benavidez?
You have to go to his fucking
Canelo.
Exactly. He's the A side. You just use the A side argument by saying, well, he could pull in the money. He's the A side. Okay, go to the zone and fight him then. But he won't. And he's already been told. He publicly just stated last week that he's not. Sam Lukowitz said he's not going to the zone. In fact, they've already laid out the people he's fighting.
He doesn't want to fight Canelo. If he wanted to fight Canelo, he will go to the zone. And by the way, he's not the A side because he should be making the concessions.
Look exactly. Like this Showtime
I didn't say it's the A side, but I'm saying he has value.
Yeah,
Canelo has value too, you fucking dumbass. What the fuck are you talking about? Who has more value? You want to talk about value? Who has more value? Who's the A side?
Right now,
he has some value. He has some value.
So they both have value.
Yes, they both have value. Obviously, they're both boxers at the top of their game. But who has to concede more? Okay, Mirage, stop playing around. Who needs to concede more? Who needs to concede more?
Obviously, Benavidez more, but Canelo has to concede something. He has to concede something. It's not just
what? Go to Showtime again?
Yeah. No, well, he's going to give him a good paycheck. He's not going to give him like $2 million. He's going to give him a good paycheck. That's the concession.
Yeah, he also want to do it again. So too bad for Benavidez. Now he has to concede. That's how it works.
Why does he want to do it again? Hang on, why does he want to do it again?
I have no
Why?
idea. He has his reasons.
Oh,
you don't know. You don't know. I don't know. You don't know either.
You just pulled that to your ass, Bucho. Exactly. You have no idea.
Exactly. You neither. So stop acting like you know what's going on in the back, on the background in negotiations. You don't know shit. You don't know shit. You're just speculating, just like I'm speculating.
Yeah, he doesn't want that smoke.
He doesn't want that smoke. You don't have anything to say.
David Benavidez signed a 3-fight contract. After that contract's done, go to the zone. Go to the zone.
Right
Go to the zone. That's it. Simple
Yeah,
as
go
that.
to the zone. It's pretty easy. He has to
Go
go to the zone.
Why do you have to stay at the PBC? The PBC had him in a pay-per-view, and they fucked it up by putting Kenny Bayless right there, messing him up. He should be insulted by the PBC by doing that.
Exactly. You don't want Kenny Bayless in there, man.
The PBC could overpay Mikey Garcia. They could overpay fucking Leo Santa Cruz to jump up and wait and get basically knocked out, but they don't want to pay Charlo a good amount of money to get sacrificed by Benavidez, right? Why should he?
And there's only one fighter who said that they're not going to go over there, and that was fucking Benavidez. I'm not going to. Well, he didn't say it, but his people said he's not going to DAZN. So if there's a major concession, the first biggest concession is on whose network it fights. So if he wants fucking Canelo, say I'll come to DAZN. Now what excuse?
By the way, we just even Mirage admitted that Canelo is the A side. He can do whatever he wants, basically, right? And then what about Benavidez? What can he do? What are his options? He has no options. I mean, he could fight somebody else, but he's not gonna get any money. I mean, at this point, he needs to fight Canelo as well, so he needs to concede.
And David Benavidez says, "Oh no, I'm only gonna fight on the PBC." That's not Canelo's fault, bro. That's fucking David Benavidez's fault.
Be afraid, and that's why after the Ryder fight, his contract with DAZN is up. He has no network after the Ryder fight, so he has all the free.
Yeah, but his network is
to go
DAZN,
to
bro.
PBC after the Ryder fight.
Well, that's not his fault. He's smart. See, Canelo's smart. He's not tied into a fucking network like dumbass fucking Benavidez. Now he's trapped.
All I'm saying is after the Ryder fight, who's the free agent? Canelo. If Benavidez can't come out of PBC, bring Canelo's ass over to PBC. He already did it with
No. Benavidez has to try to get out. Like, it's not up to Canelo. Why should Canelo pay the price for Benavidez's dumbass decision? Why should Canelo pay the price? Canelo can do whatever he wants. Yeah, so what? So he doesn't want to do it again. He doesn't want to do it again. Maybe something happened. To have Kenny Bayless and no. He doesn't need to go to the fucking. He doesn't have to bow down to Al Heyman. He doesn't have to do shit. He doesn't have to do shit for Al Heyman. That place is fucking for the devil.
There's another aspect to this. Canelo is the most pro-Mexican fighter in history. Why would he want to help the PBC succeed?
I'll tell you what.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck the PBC, man. Fuck that shit. Let them fucking sink. Let them fucking sink. Let them disappear.
So they could get robbed. So they don't grow up Mexican fighters.
I'll tell you what. Canelo has to make the fight.
Why would Canelo want to help out some organization like the PBC? It makes no sense.
Yeah, fuck them, man.
What's wrong with the PBC?
David is the mandatory. If Canelo doesn't make the fight, he loses the belt to David. That's
yeah, like the WBC is gonna mandate anything like that, bro. With the guy that's not even selling like one.
So Canelo's gonna drop the belt. Canelo's gonna drop the belt.
No. Just being a mandatory, you don't drop the belt. It has to be mandated, meaning you have 30 days to make the fight, or it goes to purse bid. And if it doesn't get made, then he gets the belt.
Well, it's going to
happen. Just because this is mandatory. Well, it could be, but what? Think about it. You're that fucking whore, fucking WBC president who only gives a fuck number. They get their commission comes off of the slice of the fucking what the fight's worth. You got one guy making $1 million selling 49,000 pay-per-view, opposed to the other guy getting guaranteed 40 million selling 800 to 1 million pay-per-views, and they fucked up once. Remember, they pressured Canelo once. And what did he do? He tossed the belt in the fucking barrel, and fuck WBC spent the next 3 years kissing his ass. No, exactly did. Yeah, he did. He waited him out another 18 months. Absolutely, I was one saying it then too. But here's the thing: Benavidez last August had an opportunity when he was a free agent again. Right? Remember, he signed with fucking Top Rank. He was fully capable of going and signing with DAZN. You want that fight? Go sign with his network. And what excuses Canelo have now? Dude, he's with us. But All right, no, I didn't say that. But if he wants that fight, so you're saying because he signed back with the same company that he was upset with that was putting him on a shelf, that's the reason why he went and signed with the Top Rank in the first place, but he resigns on him again, so that's Canelo's fault? So he has to go to a network that doesn't guarantee money when he's working with a promoter who's willing to guarantee whatever he wants
If you
and
want
give
to
it
keep
to
that
everything.
belt, if you want to keep that belt,
Oh,
you
that
better
belt.
go
Yeah,
to
that's
that
what he has. Some
motherfucker.
shitty belt from the WBC, one of the most corrupt organizations in boxing.
Well, he seems to care about the belts. He's fighting John Ryder. Oh, he's a mandatory. I got to fight him.
He's a mandatory.
Yeah, he's
keep my
mandatory.
belt.
See,
Because
there
it
you
was a
go.
mandated
That's the
fight.
WBC
Let's see
you
how much
trust.
he cares
That's
for
the
mandatories when Benavidez is
WBC.
next
That's the
up.
WBC you
Let's
trust.
fucking see.
Who put John Ryder there? Plutonium
I'm
Loach,
sure
thank
he's
you.
mandated.
Hold on. Just quickly.
Canelo likes
Plutonium
those
Loach, thank you for your
mandatories.
Let Bucho
contribution.
go.
He says, thanks shorts on Fight Night will be sponsored by Bud Light, Jack Daniels, Lego, and Nike. With purse dudes, a major fruitcake. With his purse dudes, a major fruitcake. Yeah, it's Jack Daniels for sure, though. He doesn't have that trans fucking thing.
Hey, Bucho, did you see the fucking TikTok thing, man? For the last couple of days, what's going on? Speaking of the Bud Light, right? So everybody's taking Bud Lights and saying, they usually got some cowboy boys. Well, I'm gonna take a sip of this here stuff. Go. Jesus, I see nothing wrong with this.
Yeah,
and they start talking so everybody's doing it. They're fucking $6.8 billion.
30% down, Jimmy. 30%.
It's almost $7 billion their company's lost. They gotta fire that bitch. That's all I gotta say on that.
Wait, boxing has never been sponsored by Bud Light, right? It's Budweiser and
Anheuser-Busch.
No, I'm gonna say,
yeah.
whatever you think is extreme now, all you have to do is look back 20 years, and whatever was extreme then is normalized now. So in 10, 20 years, it's gonna be the same thing. So, whatever. It's a slow victory for whatever person that would consider themselves to be a person that's against it, but you're going towards that direction, whether you like it or not.
Well, it depends on the key is the conservatives or whoever the beer drinkers. If they got to keep it up, like when they boycotted Hershey's, who cares the chocolate that didn't last long.
Yeah, well, we boycotted the NFL. How long did that last?
Well, yeah, exactly. But the Gillette one hurt. That one actually cost that. They actually shut that after that boycott. It actually hurt them so bad they shut the South Boston plant down. That really hurt Gillette when they did that fucking toxic masculinity thing. But yeah, no, Budweiser. Yeah. I'm telling you, it's become what's happened now. It's gotten a life of its own. Like all you see is content contributors making about it, lead stories on the news, how much money it's losing. Now people who don't even really care want to get involved in it. Like, yeah, I'm gonna boycott it too. I can drink. That shit's swill anyways. It's fucking panther piss.
In the chat,
I would keep yeah. So
the Kegi says people were probably outraged when black people were used in Bud advertisements or Mexicans. I don't think so, because remember Aunt Jemima, was it Aunt Jemima?
Jemima?
Yeah.
My favorite Southern lady.
That wasn't racist. No, I don't think it was racist.
I used to have a syrup in the house. I'm like, oh man.
That was a black owned company. That was their idea.
Oh yeah, I think the woman was the one who created the company. I think.
Oh yeah, no, exactly, dude. It was ridiculous. In fact, people there were pissed about it. But of course, the woke libtards, see the left, even though they're a small minority, vocal, but they're loud on Twitter and they're vocal. I mean, they'll just stay because none of them work, so they all just fucking show up and they protest over and over again. And they stay outraged because that's all they have is their outrage. Where conservatives usually work and have jobs.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
So they can't go protest.
Earl Stevens with an amazing comment. He says, "Real alcoholics don't care about commercials." That's true. If you're gonna drink something and it's cheap, you're gonna fucking drink it.
Well, I know there's better beer to drink. Bud Light just was always like that. Was just because it was always so advertising, like in front of me. I always kept 2 beer in my refrigerator down in the basement for people who came over. Bud Light and Sam Adams. I first dropped Sam Adams because they were pushing the vaccine hard, so I bailed on them. And then I'll never buy Bud Light again. I'm done. So,
what about Colt 45?
Colt 45. I'm not a malt liquor drinker. I'm not a beer drinker to begin with. Never really was, but I used to like Sam Adams, like fucking summer ale and shit. But Budweiser just like Bud Light tastes like piss.
No, it's nasty.
swill.
I mean, if you like it, that's
But-
your opinion. Just my opinion. Especially now, I'm not gonna touch that. Hell no.
Exactly. I mean,
just to be careful. Guys, maybe we should end it. It's been 2 hours. Fuck it.
All right.
All right,
Might
guys.
turn you into a trans if you drink it, bro. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's what Jimmy said.
Guys, seriously, go check out go check out, dude, man, they're all over YouTube, people posting it, like it's all these dudes like, give me this thing, what are you talking about? And they take a sip and then, I see nothing wrong with this stuff. And it's just hilarious. So, but listen, when you're a company the size of Budweiser, when you're like, people say there's no such thing as bad press, that's bullshit. When you already have to a point where when everybody is your targeted audience, like why would you isolate not only half the country, but your core base who've been drinking? And you know who did it? That fucking broad who deleted all her pages, including a Lincoln page. She went to the Groton school. Listen, she said, we're going to get rid of the fratty image. Now these pictures come out where she was at frat parties. She went to the Groton school. Let me tell you about this high school. It's about 20 miles from here. It got so crazy on garbage day in the first week kids left school. It's such a rich school. It's on 480 acres. They have $500 million in endowment for high school. It's $62,000 a year to go there. It's on this gorgeous fucking, they have 3 students to every 1 teacher. It's one of the most expensive, exclusive schools. So she went there to Harvard, to the Thornton School. I mean, this chick
I don't understand how the executives
epitome.
accept this as a good idea. I think this is a good idea. Oh yeah, let's just put a.
Well, they put out a statement. Supposedly, they didn't know. The top executive is saying they had no idea because yeah, exactly. Who knows if they're lying? But I know that they did hire her as the VP of marketing, which pays like crazy money. I mean, literally right after she got the job, she bought a $5.7 million home in New York. But that doesn't mean nothing because she comes from old money. Nobody goes to the Groton school unless you're a brainiac kid. Like I know this girl from Haverhill who came from a poor family, and she went there. Well, she was a minority too, and they love that because it looks for the diversity scores. But she was a brilliant girl, and she went on to Harvard like the rest of them.
I was thinking about Tecate, and Tecate, because recognize she's saying that I can boycott beer for whatever reason except Corona. Lime and splash of salt is unbelievable. Now, Corona, they would never do that. And Tecate, they would never do. In Mexico, remember they have that commercial where it says, like, if you don't watch... what was it? Jesus, I'm forgetting. It was being macho. If you drink Tecate, you're a macho man. You know what I mean? You're a man. So they're not gonna put a tranny on a Tecate fucking bottle. That'd be fucking crazy.
Remember the old blood commercials? They would say, real beer of genius. Remember those commercials they used to have? Dude, they're doing some crazy spoofs off that with that. Just like, you know what I mean? I don't know who's doing this guy's voice, but somebody's doing it. Sounds just like him, but some of them are funny as fuck. Yeah. Delvin Mulhaney. What about not just Bud? What about Nike? Think about... I mean, not only is this dude pretending to be a woman, first off, he's not even a real transvestite. All he had was, he didn't even have laser surgery to take the hair off his face.
No, he
didn't have bottom surgery, nothing. It's a total
effort.
man,
Jimmy,
dude.
no
and he's
effort
posing.
There's no effort.
Yeah, he was he was on The Price is Right before. He was a Broadway singer. So he was, you know what I mean? He was starving for attention. So and then and what does he do? He's a man mocking women because remember he's like, oh, I don't know what March Madness is. I guess it was just everybody having a bad month. Like, so women were like, wait a minute, not only are you pretending to be a woman, you're pretending to be a ditzy, airheaded woman, like all the bad, you know, my 320th day, and he goes and buys fucking tampons. Why? Because you're drinking Bud Light and eating. Oh, somebody put together a fucking tweet. Showed him it was drinking Bud Light, then a chili dog, and I finally got a use for the fucking tampons for the Bud Bud or the Mud Bud. It said, basically shoving it up his ass. But it's demented, just demented.
I wonder if boxing will get attacked by this ideology at some point.
The woke crowd.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they have in some degree. Didn't they get rid of the ring girl in fucking Australia?
No, they got ring girls in Australia. They got them.
No, it was in Sweden. No, they had a fight a while ago, a few years ago. I remember it was 2 women boxing. It was in Sweden. 2 women boxing, and then they had a ring card guy.
Yeah, ring guys. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
I can't believe they did that to the Price is Right. They added male models.
Oh really? Man.
Yeah, the Price is Right.
Hey, when you skip
ring guys
school,
are as old as boxing, bro. They're called the boxers.
When you skip school, you spend your time with Bob Barker.
Yeah, Bob Barker, dude. Dude, you know how rich that motherfucker was, bro? He owned, well, you guys don't know, but when you go to prison, the jumpsuits they give you and those little fucking sporks and the little 2-inch toothbrush and all that shit, the packet they give you with the flip-flops, he owns the company who he supplied all the prisons. Dude, he made billions of dollars off that. Yeah, Bob Barker, dude. Even at the end of his life, if the price is right, he was worth billions. But he made it all
was he
from
working on
prisons.
that shitty show then? What the fuck?
I don't know. I have no idea why he continued.
He
Maybe
loved it, I
because he
guess.
just wanted to stay mentally sharp.
Come
right?
on down.
Exactly. Come on down. What does he have to do, right? He has an earpiece in it telling him what to say.
Exactly. All right, guys.
A lot
Let's
of
end
other
the
people,
show.
Right, bro.
when they retire, they die.
Wasn't he in like Gilmore, Jimmy?
Oh, yeah. Gilmore, when he fought him, and he beats up Happy Gilmore.
He gets out jabbed. All right, guys. I'm going to bounce. See you guys.
All right,
Thanks for
guys.
joining.
You guys all be good, man.
All right, everybody on YouTube, thank you for joining the show. Everybody who donated, really appreciate it. And we'll have a post-fight show. Maybe we'll have a post-fight show tomorrow, right after the Joyce fight, if not on Sunday. I mean, it's not a super big fight, so it depends what happens, I guess. But definitely next week we're gonna have a bunch of shows because it's a big fight. So stay tuned for that. We're gonna have a bunch of live streams. All right. Yep. Have a good night.
Warning.
Listos pelos chingazos. Listos pelos chingazos.
I'm gonna bring the whole fucking diseased, corrupt temple down on your head. It's gonna be biblical.